different scents going on in
That's what I'm saying. It smells like all this is like, that's a lemon.
No, that's Burtwood.
Whatever it is,
bird
lemon.
Yeah, let me fill up my container
Yeah, it has
right
the
now.
musk in it. Mint leaf, virgin, but it has the musk.
Oh.
No, it's just a thing.
It's so nice to have all of y'all here.
Yeah, back in the building, man. It's supposed to be live,
we
so.
getting a water plaque or something we taking home? What are we?
It's at our house.
No, I'm gonna bring it because hold up. I'm gonna bring it next week because remember we're gonna have our winners on, so we're gonna have all the little. But I'm jealous because their trophies
is bigger than yours.
Man, that's a paper. Yeah, we lied, but it looked like a paperweight. Am I lying? It says
it's very nice.
But it's always good to make sure that your guests feel special.
Yeah. Right. When I came up here for the little music room. Okay, so we should be live. I'm trying to go live now so we can share all this stuff. Hey, did it work? Y'all got. Is everything good to go? No, I got it from Facebook.
Is it copyrighted?
What's happening is when I'm sending it to us, it's not showing up as being able to play. But see, mine has done it too, so. Hey, thank you for tuning in on Facebook. Listen, we're going to get this party started shortly. This is the award-winning radio show in the building.
Like a queen.
Yes.
I think you start calling me Queen Ross.
Oh.
I think I'll be okay with that.
Queen Ross.
Yeah.
Let me get my waves.
I think that's her.
Let me get my waves. I can't play the video either.
It's not playing?
No.
It's not showing up?
It's not playing on my phone.
See, that's why I try to get her, because it's showing we live, but. Let's see what happens. So I might have to just go live from my phone. Go to Facebook and see what happens. See, because it might just be your phone, because everything is moving. Everything is moving. You see us, right? Okay, see you.
The pedicure is live via
Because she watching hers on there.
Okay, just a couple minutes.
Hey, thank you for tuning in. Listen, we're going to get this party started shortly. Again, we're the Pedicure Radio Show on every Sunday from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. The Afterparty Radio hotline number 972-591-8272. Man, we're going to be talking Kevin Hart. We're going to be talking some relationships. We're going to be talking about Rickey Williams starting a new football league. And then we're going to get into wishy-washy, mega preacher, pastor, bishop, Episcopal, John Gray.
You don't have to get that man out of the time.
Yeah, you know.
The church. Why you calling him wishy-washy?
I mean.
Because one minute he giving to the flock and then he
then he gave to his wife.
Yeah, that's still
we'll
a
get
shite.
into it.
We're gonna get into it.
You give it to the people.
If you know why? Because out to the people. That's what I'm looking at.
Are
So,
you serious?
so unless that day is in church, he gave out more than 200,000 in
Well, we
free
don't
money.
know that.
We don't know.
We don't know
And
how
remember, he's a
much.
husband also.
That don't mean nothing. He's still a pastor.
And he's a
That
husband
needs
too.
okay.
That gave a gift to his wife for her birthday.
Yep, but if it come from the Church of God at the end of the
I
day.
don't think it could. For tax purposes, I don't think it could.
It could have been writing a book.
As someone who's done taxes for the church, it's a no. Especially if you claim to be a 503c.
But it happens all the time. You got Bishop T.D. Jakes.
Yeah, but they
all of them. So you can funnel your money. Yeah, they set up to win.
Now,
churches are set up to win.
That Lamborghini in the name of the church. That's something else.
No, but I'm saying he personally bought it, but the point is behind it.
What I'm saying is if he bought that in the name of the church, then that's something different.
But I doubt it. But I'm just saying if
it would be smart to buy it in the name of the church.
Well, that might be. But my thing is again, you know, like I said before, people are watching, and if you can spend that much on your family and everything, just like you've been a pastor, you're gonna be certified for just spending in the city, we're doing in the community. Are we good? It's still not playing? Listen, we don't know what that is in the background playing.
It's about finding.
This is not an X-rated show, whatever that is. Right? You still
I know my sweater dress, I know, right? I love these dresses too. I'm gonna borrow them too. These are comfortable. Online Amazon. Now I was shopping myself on Amazon, but I wanted to test it out. Well, what I found from Amazon is that you have to read almost every comment about the item that you're gonna buy to get a good reading. Because you know how, because some of this stuff came from China, and their large isn't small. Yeah. So, and then you have to go to the size chart. Then you have to go to the pictures. Because normally I won't buy anything unless the comments have pictures, so I can see the people in the outfit. And then they'll be honest, like that white. You know, if you buy white, it's real thin, and they'll tell you it's thin. You're gonna need a slip or tight or whatever you want to pair it with. But I like a lot of shopping from. Now that is somewhere I will buy. I rotate between that and good old Vaseline, especially in the colder weathers for that sealant.
Listen, in this weather and water, I found myself having to literally bathe myself in oil.
You know what I was gonna say, because
I'm like,
I think our is considered hard.
It is. It's very hard.
It is very hard. It's wreaking havoc on my face.
But isn't it funny, like, when you change?
I use coconut oil. That's, which is good. I mean, but I have to like from top to bottom, like a baby.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I do every day though. Every day I lotion with either. You know,
because see, back home I didn't have to. But here I noticed like, oh my God, I got to put on. Like,
when I get out the shower, either it's gonna be that Johnson and Johnson lavender baby oil,
right? I have.
Or Vaseline, or because I don't do lotion.
No.
Initially, I do
but
my
it's
oil
like
first.
lathering. When
Yeah, you have to
scoop it. And
you have to get this part done.
Yes.
And then yeah.
Hey, what's up? Man, we're gonna get this party started. Y'all ready to rock and roll? Again, we are the Petty Crew Radio Show with the good doctor in the building.
Hi.
What you want to be called now?
Queen Roz.
No, the award. Did you say award winner?
Queen.
Wait, yeah.
Roz of sports.
I like
That's
it.
just too hard.
No, I like
Queen
it.
Roz of sports to remember.
Yes.
I have everything else saying the first lady of
Don't give black people an award. We take it too.
Damn.
Yes.
Queen Roz. Right? Of sports. Okay, I'm going to forget that shit. And then, of course, we got Bree in the building.
T-S, if you want to get the initials there.
So in 2019, we're going to record
Okay, we can do that. If somebody ain't even there right now, we go on and knock it out after this. Hey, listen, it is your boy Boss Hog. the host of the award-winning
Yes.
Award-winning.
Pettigrew
Yes.
radio show.
Yes.
It's a great day here in Dallas, Texas, man.
It is. It warmed up.
Feeling good. Well, we trying to feel good, but I'm just happy we got.
I took my vitamins today.
Yeah, we got the whole.
To stay away
We
from
finally
that.
have the whole crew in the building.
Woohoo! Are we doing shades?
Yeah. Oh, damn, man. Rise to
Yeah.
the shades.
Okay, we have to get Bria more now.
Say, yeah, we gonna do that. You got your shades too?
Wait a minute, I can't even find my
Can't
shades.
even find your shades.
Yeah, I'm
They
gonna
probably
do
at
mine
home.
too. I'm gonna do mine too.
I want
I
look
want
for the
to.
shades next
Yeah,
week.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have them with you, huh?
No, I just have
Damn,
to
man, I keep at least a couple of pairs with. I know I got another
just
in the
look,
car.
look for
but-
the shades next week.
Yeah.
So again, man, we gonna get this party started.
It's
But
because
let
the
me
sun is out.
let me introduce my co-host, man. You know, without them, man, this really wouldn't be a show because they hold it down. They so diverse. We got the good doctor in the building. What's good?
Oh, happy Sunday fun day.
Yeah. Then we have
Queen.
Rise.
Back. Back
First
from
lady
the
of
throne.
sports. Yeah, it is. It's hard. It's
Back
gonna take a
from
minute.
the
With
throes
sports.
of hell
Yes.
and pneumonia.
We
Oh
just
my
know
goodness.
Rise did with the sports, and then we have
God has given her a new
our own
day.
poetic justice, our
Yes.
own, you know, what is it, rhyme and rhythm,
Our Lady of Balance.
yes,
Don't give us nothing because we'll take it.
yeah, we gonna run with
We'll
it.
take it.
Bria Moore, what's good, Bria?
Hola, everybody.
Yeah, matter of fact, and I had a dream, man. Let me go on and put it out there so you already know ahead of time.
You
So,
dreaming about other women?
yeah, now,
Oh.
see,
Yeah, no.
no, that wasn't it. Let me finish, first of all. Lord,
Okay.
Jesus.
I mean, you were talking about the poet. And then
Right, because I was thinking about the show and how I
Okay.
wanted everything to go, you know, for next week. And I was like, you know what? Because I was giving you guys, you know, I shared your picture this past, Friday. And so I was like, well, we haven't heard any poetry from Bree in a minute.
Oh.
And so I was like, well, you know what? When Sunday come around, I just need to go and put on notice. We need to hear some original next Sunday.
Oh, it's gonna always be original.
Yeah, I know it's original, but I'm just saying, you know, we need to hear some. And so, damn, that's all it was. Calm down, Lord,
Okay,
Jesus.
sure.
Nah, that's all. I think ahead for the next show and what we go, you know, deal with as far as guests and everything. And so we'll talk about that close to the end of the show. But man, we're gonna go and get this party started. But you know how we do it. Shout out to everybody that voted for us this past
Yeah.
Thank you.
party
Yeah.
awards.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it because we were given the award for best sound curator, meaning that we are or you guys felt that we were the hottest show that played the hottest music.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I you know, I like I told them, that's cool because when I'm picking music throughout the day and listening to all different type of music, that's the whole point that you guys like what we're playing, be it throwback, be it the opening song, whatever it is. And out of 40-something shows, you guys chose us. And so we definitely appreciate you for it. And I also thank you guys for voting me your 2018 male host. So I really thank you guys for that. Really wasn't expecting it. Last year we were the newcomers in the game.
Right.
And then here it is, we come back, we won 2 of 5 awards. And I'm just gonna be honest with you, if you out there listening, whatever show you on, we just really plan on taking all of them.
Clean sweep next year.
The next
Yeah.
the next awards. I'm just
And I
giving
would
100.
not
Pretty
be
much.
sick because I got vitamins.
Yes.
Let me go ahead and put
So
that
you know
out
what? So you know what? We're sticking with what we are known for, and that is playing hot music, man. We hadn't played any Mariah Carey in a minute.
Okay.
And so we were jamming in the car, and I guess she got a new single called No, 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 No.
Mariah?
Yeah, it's basic as shit, but I was like,
So
Why
why not
not?
listening?
because the beat is jamming and it's
Oh,
more up to date.
okay.
You know, we're not gonna use it for throwback. We're gonna just open it up with some
Okay.
little rhythm
Okay.
and everything, and then we're gonna come back and get this party started and talk some Kevin Hart. So again, this is Mariah Carey, No, 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 No,
Okay.
and then after that we're gonna come back with some Kevin Hart. Yeah, once you hear the song, you'll be like, oh, it's basic as shit.
Oh,
And that's all
they
she's
sample
saying.
Crush
No,
on You?
huh?
Yeah.
They sample Crush on You.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then try to use Biggie in the song. You heard that a little later.
Oh, I got heard this.
Yeah, like close to the end.
Really?
I was like, it's basic. It's very simple. You gonna hear Mo Nose.
Cookie cutter.
I was like, damn. She got on the radio with nothing but no.
46?
I guess. I don't know. I have not the slightest clue. But hey, if you're tuned in, thank you for tuning in, man. Please share our Facebook Live. Again, we have a great show lined up for you guys. Our call-in number is 972-591-8272. Sorry about the bad connection. There's a lot of stuff connected in here, so it might be delayed, but bear with us, man. Probably going into 2019, I think I'll probably do my own solo Wi-Fi. And that way you guys don't have to worry about it again. So
FYI, your mic isn't going in and out. Boss Hog has the hiccups.
yeah.
So it sounds like there's a cutoff.
Yeah, so all of us again are dealing with different stuff, man. And I think one of the side effects of the medicine I'm taking, it has made me have hiccups. Like I hadn't had them since I started taking the medicine, and so
the mic isn't going in and out.
yeah, so it ain't going in and out. I'm trying to work with it. What's so funny was everything was good before I got to the show.
Yeah, it was.
Not still, our joy. It's just not gonna happen. We are the award-winning radio show, the Petty Crew radio show on Afterparty Radio. How about that? The devil said y'all don't want it. I want it.
I know.
We're gonna take it from you.
It must be
And so you might want to connect to this Wi-Fi. Like I said, it's just funny. Remember, you got all this stuff connected. They tablets, my tablets, phones, right over there. You ain't heard her say nothing else, have you?
I mean,
But no.
She sings song in the beginning.
Yeah, at the beginning.
Is it the radio?
The first one. Hey, listen, that was Mariah Carey's No sample from Crush on You, and then that was sample from somebody else. You know how that kind of go. But listen, we do have a great show lined up, and again, forgive me, man. I gotta fight through these hiccups. It ain't no way around it, but to this day, I've never missed a show. Knocking on 2 years, and so we gonna still keep it that way through it all. So we're gonna go on and jump right into it, man. If you guys are not aware, over last week or so, Kevin Hart was in a little bit of a controversy because out the blue, it just seemed like when black folks are trying to do good or progress or do something positive, they sure know how to find them damn skeletons, don't they? They wait just until you get to wherever the hell you think you are
To pull you right on back
to
down.
pull you down and
Pull
say,
your
hey,
file.
look, remember you did this.
It's just a reminder that you are still black.
At the end of the day, there you go. And so what happened is, for you guys that didn't know, Kevin Hart stepped down as Oscar host. This article was from Vanity, and this was December the 6th, 2018. It says just 48 hours after agreeing to host the 91st Academy Awards, Kevin Hart unceremoniously stepped down late Thursday night on social media. The turn of events followed outcry over previous anti-gay tweets and comments Hart made during stand-up routines nearly 10 years ago. Some of the tweets were feverishly deleted throughout the day on Thursday, leading to an Instagram video from the comedian that only made matters worse for him. My team calls me, oh my God, Kevin, everyone's upset by tweets you did years ago. He said in that video, guys, I'm nearly 40 years old. If you don't believe that people change, grow, evolve as they get older, I don't know what to tell you. If you want to hold people in a position where they always have to justify the past, do you I'm the wrong guy. It also goes on to say those words range as a defined non-apology for many. Hours later, Hart resurfaced with another video stating that the Academy of Motion Pictures, Picture Arts and Science had given him an ultimatum. Apologize or we'll find a new host. I chose to pass on the apology, the 39-year-old actor comedian said in the video. The reason why I passed is because I've addressed this several times. This is not the first time this has come up. I've addressed it. I've spoken on it. I've said where the rights and wrongs were. I've said who I am now versus who I was then. I've done it. I'm not going to continue to go back and tap into the days of old when I've moved on and I'm in a completely different place in my life. So, we have that situation. And then here comes old Brother Soul. Nick Cannon.
Turban Nick.
Yeah, Turban Nick. That's a soulful brother, because he's looking out for his brother's keeper.
Mm-hmm.
He is his brother's keeper. He said, wait a minute, hold on now. Y'all shooting at him. And y'all want to bring up his tweets from 10 years ago, but let's start getting on Sarah Silverman. Let's get on, what's the other? Amy Schumer. We're going to talk about comedians. Let's talk about them too, because we can go back into their tweets, and he did. Clearly, he got time. With all that money, he got time.
I mean, he must be on break for
yeah, that nigga went way back. He went way back. Because he literally goes back
They had
to...
it for Kevin.
What, you know, normally somebody else be pulling up.
Yeah.
So
We talking about another celebrity literally taking time to go through people's
Yeah.
screen.
and doing that.
His due diligence.
Yeah, doing his due diligence. But what happened is, in doing that, there was a story that came out that said Sarah Silverman responds to Nick Cannon resurfacing old tweets where she used a gay slur. In an effort to defend Kevin Hart, Cannon did some digging and found an old tweet posted by Silverman that used homophobic language. Nick Cannon defended calling out Sarah Silverman on Tuesday morning, the comedian and television host of BuzzFeed's AM and DM talk show, that he retweeted Silverman and other female comedians dropping gay slurs on Twitter to demonstrate that people grow. Now, I'm not going to read all through the article, but the reason why I brought up this article was because what happened is Sarah Silverman attempted to use somebody in the LGBT community to defend her. So
Yeah.
go on in the article, and this article was on, what's this, 2Fab, and it's called Sarah Silverman responds to Nick Cannon resurfacing old tweets where she used the gay slur. And what I found very strange about it was that, just like how a lot of folks do, they try to get people to co-sign on them,
Right.
like it was going to make it. See, here's the difference
That's in the
between
flow.
me. Yeah,
Right.
here's the difference between me and you. Well, the only real difference was that nobody just came out in the gay community to defend Kevin Hart, because then
Right.
somebody could have came out and been like, well, hey, well, you know what? We don't see nothing wrong with it because we get it's a joke.
Because in a nutshell, the dude was like, I wasn't offended.
Right.
But that's one person
Yeah, like he was spokesperson.
out of many, and I'm sure she got backlash just like Kevin Hart got backlash. The only thing that irks me is that every time someone of color gets into a position, like the hosting the Oscars, they think that's a great thing, and then now you want to start digging into their skeletons and pull up this, pull up that. Kevin Hart has been out for at least 10 years plus.
Right.
Why haven't this stuff came out before? And like he said, some of it has, and he's addressed it, and I'm not doing it again.
Yeah.
And I support that 100%. It's just like they say at the White House when she's at the podium, ask and answer. Ask and answer. We've been through
already
this.
addressed
Why
this.
are you beating me over the head with it? So, since you're going to give me an ultimatum, this is what I'm going to do. You can have your little show. Because before you asked me to be on your show, I was Kevin Hart.
Right.
Once I'm not going to host your show, I'm still going to be Kevin Hart. My money is still going to come in. You're not affecting me. This little, he's using gay slurs. Yeah, 15 years ago.
Now watch this. Because I'm looking at what Nick Cannon has retweeted. This is from Chalisa Handler. This is what a fag bird likes, like when he flex. Then Nick retweeted Sarah Silverman. I don't mean this in a hateful way, but the new Bachelorette's a faggot. Then he goes on again. Amy Schumer. Enjoy Skyfall, fags. I'm about to get knee deep in Helen Hunt. Now I was trying to find Kevin Hart's tweets to see what it was that he really said, and I must have missed them, and y'all might be able to pull it up or something. But that's harsh.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it ain't so back in the day before this whole fag thing or saying stuff like this was wrong. Back in high school, we used to say that's gay. Remember that, especially that killer. We would
No,
be
it
like,
wasn't gay. We use totally different words than gay.
no, we used to say like, so we used to say, for instance, like if that was whack or if we wasn't feeling it, we'd be like, man, that's gay.
Oh yeah. And
Like-
on some Huey Boondocks type stuff before Boondocks.
Yeah, like,
yeah.
like that's not saying that person was gay or that thing
Right.
was gay. That's what we were describing as whack. That's how you use the word whack.
right.
We just said, man, that's gay. Now, fast forward, I said that in 2016, and it was like, oh my God, that's offensive. I said, well, first of all, before you say what's offensive, ask me in the context in which I'm using. Then I can tell you if I'm trying to be disrespectful to somebody.
To anyone.
To anything.
Right.
If I'm saying, especially if I explain, because that's literally what we used to use
We did.
for whack back in the day.
Yeah,
It's like,
quick.
man, that's gay. Doc, why, that's gay. Come on, man. You know, and everybody understood. Nobody didn't take it as, oh, dog, you trying to call me gay.
No, I'm not calling you gay. I'm just saying what you said was gay.
Whack.
Was whack. It
Right, was
dull.
whack.
It
was
bombed
garbage.
out.
Right. Now, again, my problem also is that why are these women not being held accountable?
For one,
I
because they
mean,
khaki women.
yeah, I was gonna
That's
say,
the
we-
first and foremost
We
thing.
can look at. I mean, we can. That's easy. Give me an SAT question.
Ah.
That's easy.
That's
shady.
Yeah, that's some shade, David. But I'm just saying, I mean,
shade. It's
but
dark in here. I have to raise my shade.
but what happened is
Wait a
that.
minute. You said dark. I'm offended.
Oh, yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. We can get so offended and so
And
much
so
shit.
many things.
And
It's,
so, yeah.
I mean, it's getting to the point to where it's ridiculous. You know, some stuff is hurtful.
Right.
Yes, if you put it out there in that manner, understood.
And yeah, that was the intent.
But fag or gay or whatever, I mean, you know, when men call other men the B word, saying that they're acting like a woman, you know, I don't. Oh my goodness! Don't you
I'm
dare tell
taking
him.
offense to that.
Acting
Right.
like
I
a
wish
woman.
more of them would get shook up and be told that.
Oh no, they ain't gonna do that.
Yeah, but I mean, oh Lord, Bree over here that went straight into a whole.
I'm just saying.
No, but I get it. I mean, my thing is also, like you said, why now? Not only why now, but it's the reminder. We control your ceiling, and what
Yes.
and what the Academy thought was that if you want to go to the next level, or you want to get another set of movies, because mark my words, we go see a new black comedian rising, because
Right.
that's how it happens.
Yeah.
You never see one black comedian said all the time. They always pick that one, which is Kevin Hart. And now you
Yeah.
got other comedians. We've seen other comedians, but that one, you don't see Kevin Hart and then another comedian making movies. Three or four more black folks making movies in the movie theater.
Right.
You just not gonna
Right.
see it. You're gonna see the one black comedian who, I don't care if it started
The
with
token.
Eddie Murphy.
The
Think
one,
about it.
right.
Eddie Murphy had that run. After
Right.
Eddie Murphy, who was it? Michael Epps.
Yeah.
He had a quick
Skipped
run.
over Martin.
Well, indeed, before
Martin.
Murphy was, well, after Murphy, Martin.
Yeah. He had a short run.
What
Nice
nice
Lengthy.
one? Yeah, lengthy, because he
Yeah,
had
the
got a
series
good
had
5
Mama's
movies.
Mama's
Successful
House.
movies.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. You always see that one,
Just one.
Yeah.
It's never
not so
two or
much
three
token, right? It's
at a
never 2
time.
or 3 at a
It's
time. And
the
watch what
chosen
happens.
one. The chosen one.
You're gonna see.
So we're gonna have a new chosen one.
You're gonna see it happen because
They're about to start ushering them.
what they did was say, you know what? We got you.
Yeah.
You gotta. You need to make
It's
a
time
choice.
to. It's time to.
He's gotten too big.
Because
This is a
this
moment-
is.
to dance.
He's gotten too
Right.
big. He's putting other people up on his platform. They see him empowering the black community, and now it's time for him to sit down.
He's basically gotten to the point where he refuses to continue to grab his ankles, and so
Right.
they was like,
But
you
he
know
said
what?
that. He
No,
said
right.
the
That's
same
what it
thing
was.
to
He was-
Cat when him and Cat was going through that whole thing. Cat, you had your chance.
Yeah, but you know what? That
were
was that was.
the next
He still
man.
lied though.
Come, who did?
Kevin Hart didn't. He wasn't speaking. He wasn't really speaking truthful.
Well, we won't get into that.
Yeah,
because
but
he said there was facts, and what's his name? God, Cat Williams didn't come back and say he lied about everything.
well, actually, he did. But
When?
what?
'Cause they were posted.
So Red Grant. What Red Grant did.
Well, I saw his.
Right. What Red Grant did is, and he called both. He didn't call both of them out. He called out Tiffany Haddish and he called out Kevin Hart the same way Liz, the little black chick from Saturday Night Live, called out Kevin Hart. Leslie. Like they told him, shut the F up, stop putting my name in my mouth, because you the one that told me that I wasn't gonna make it. You ain't helped me get nowhere. It was actually
Cat Williams.
It was actually Cat Williams
That put her on
who
his
put her in
show,
position.
like the opening.
With the whole drug thing. Kevin Hart, because we want to make sure we talking it for real here. Like what's the name said, we talking weed, but here it is. Kevin Hart goes on the Breakfast Show and try to make it seem like this dude has some type of drug problem and all that. Everybody know Cat Williams smoke weed. The truth is that he did come back in the video to say, hey, you know what? Put your own millions up, not the white folks' millions.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to come to you with my millions of dollars.
Right.
You put your own money up, and then we can do it however you want to. We can do a stand-up comedy, because the truth is, Cat Williams is funnier than Kevin Hart.
Stand up, yeah.
Stand-up wise, he's just funnier than...
Yeah,
he's
But see,
funnier than him.
I'm not a fan of Cat Williams.
Okay, see, that's why you probably think so. See, I'm not a fan of none of them. I just know what's funny. Who I will watch versus who I wouldn't watch.
Stand up.
Kevin Hart has
Stand-up
become
watch.
very, very redundant.
Yeah,
Very,
now he done came
very
far.
redundant.
But what had happened is, again, let's
He's
think about
very
it.
Hollywood.
Right.
Yeah.
He's very Hollywood.
He's
known-
mainstream.
He's right. He's very mainstream.
Like right now, that movie with Tiffany Haddish and him, Night School. How many of y'all went to go see that?
I don't go to
Wasn't interested at all.
I go to movies and I
It was
wasn't
too
interested.
mainstream.
I'm
It
tired of
was-
seeing him being a scary lame dude in almost every movie. He's getting
But
taken advantage of. or
he has a
something.
new movie that's coming out next year. I think will be good.
Yeah, a little bit more serious.
Yeah, but that's on.
I'm glad to see him in that
Yeah.
light.
So,
That's a little bit more serious, but my thing is I mean, the truth is, again, he's been put in a position to get where he's at. You know,
But
doors
all
will
of
open
them.
up like
Right.
not like Mike F said. Just look at the game. You got gatekeepers, and he gave the game. It wasn't that Cat Williams didn't have a door to open. Cat Williams and everybody saying the same thing. No, they pick and choose who they want to go through that door. They allow you to go through the door.
right.
You're not picking up everybody you say you are.
And
Now,
the
he
sad
does
part-
help his boys. Now the people that's rolling with him,
Yeah.
they eat good too. You know.
And the
That's
sad
why I say
part-
that it was a little truth. He wasn't always truthful in what he was saying, you know, because when you got folks that got to come back and check you about, you know, you didn't tell everybody that you told Leslie that she wasn't going to make it, that she wasn't going to, you know what I'm saying? So you can't talk out the side of your neck like you righteous and then can get called out the next day because, like, you ain't helped me do nothing. So that's why I said it was a little hit and miss. But, I mean, the point is here is that we have a black man.
Well, we said about their net worth, and this is Forbes 2018. Cat only have 10 million. Kevin has 120. Now, are you saying that Cat got his 10 from just not being supported by the mainstream people?
Wait a minute, we just watched. He just made
Yeah.
36 million on his little video in
Netflix.
And this
not
is,
Netflix, but when he was talking about thank you on the interview with Wanda. Remember, he was talking about he just made 36 on his video that he shot in the.
I'm looking at
That was
Forbes,
the
and Forbes
Jacksonville.
don't lie. Forbes is reputable, and they have
Forbes is reputable, but you talking about a collective. Remember, every comedian with money don't put their money in everywhere. Like
No,
there
I
might be.
understand that.
So
and
you
isn't
look.
that based on like stuff
Ticket
they
sales.
own?
No, that
and
ain't
stuff
just
too?
like stuff they might own. They don't. They
Yeah.
don't.
Let's
See,
see
Kev
what
might
it's
deal with his
based
money
on.
totally
Right,
different.
is it earnings or?
Because you talking about-
if it's earnings, then it may be true because Kevin Hart is mainstream.
Right, that's what I'm
And
saying.
Cat Williams
Yeah.
says,
That makes
listen,
sense.
I put on my own shows. Nobody is paying for
Right.
my movie and then they're paying me a check.
Right.
No, I'm the one writing the check.
Yeah, he's
for
his
other
own
people.
boss. He's his own boss.
There's
I
a
own
difference
all my
between-
stuff.
Right. There's a difference between an entrepreneur and what an entrepreneur makes
Right.
versus the CEO of a company and what the CEO
Right.
makes.
So yeah, so that might be correct
That might be
in the
correct.
sense of because again, Kevin Hart is into more things than
Yes,
Cat Williams.
yes,
Right.
mainstream, yes.
But that would neglect. But that would go back to what Mike Epps was saying. Just because, and he was just shooting it low key. Just because you are into different stuff does not mean that you got above everybody else.
Right.
Because he had already said it in advance. Because just as quick as they allowing
That's
you to
right,
get it,
they'll pull your card.
they will again. We saw real quick in this instance. You have a ceiling.
Yeah. And they
You're gonna
pulled it.
dance for us because here is your ceiling right here.
Mhm.
You have a choice. They literally told him either you're gonna apologize
Or step down.
or, and Kevin Hart, and I respect him for it, and I'm
Yeah.
glad that he did it. He was like, you know what? I'm just not going to apologize. I already addressed it. Now somebody said, well, oh, he did come back and apologize. I'm like,
He
I
did.
must have missed that too.
No, he did. He came back and apologized. After he stepped down, he came back and offered an apology.
Because I thought he said
But wasn't
that.
it like more so along the lines of like,
But
hey,
it-
I'm sorry that y'all feeling how y'all feeling
Yes.
now, but I'll change.
It wasn't,
I'm
I
not that
apologize
man.
for what
Right.
I said.
Okay,
That's
see, then
the
I don't
difference.
count that then.
No,
Yeah, see, I don't
no.
count that.
No, it was just.
So it's what I read. Is what I read.
Yeah.
See, I don't count that then because my thing is you still step down, which put the academy in a situation where now they have to
They don't
find
have
a
a
new
host.
host.
But
They
guess
don't
what?
have
They
one.
still don't have one.
Yeah,
Nobody wants to
because
take it.
Nobody is taking it. They don't have
And
one.
guess what? The fee is only $15,000 to be the host.
Murphy, they reached out to Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy was like, nah.
Eddie
You
Murphy
know?
just had his 10th child. He's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's straight.
Yeah, he's good. Just
Somebody
had baby
need
number
number
10.
10.
He's
Somebody
good.
Clip that man.
He's good.
Now watch this before we keep it moving and get into our relationship segment. 'Cause we brought up the second part of this, and this was a message to Nick Cannon. I guess this guy is a British author, LGBT advocate, Greg. What's this? Hogben, who defended her in the wake of a controversy, and explained what he saw was the difference between what she said and what Hart said. Again, he's one man. He doesn't speak for the LGBT community. You know, it's just his opinion. He says, hey, Nick Cannon, I understand the comparison you're trying to make between Kevin Hart and these comedians. But as a gay guy, let me share my opinion with you. This isn't a rant. It's more of an explanation of why I see a difference. Hogben wrote, do you remember the first time? Let me get to the meat of this thing, because I ain't trying to go through a whole thing. The victim probably didn't. Hey, I'm gonna let y'all have it, because I'm just reading it and I just see BS, and so.
Yeah.
Okay, basically, I read what he said in a nutshell, and from my perspective, it's basically the equivalent of when that coach referred to that black girl team as nappy-headed hoes. Ain't that what he called them? And somebody sitting up there trying to say one wasn't what the other one was. They both are the same thing. You're just picking which one you want to be desensitized to.
Yeah.
And because it's Kevin Hart, because if I feel like if it was a coveted khaki comedian, aka white, for y'all that haven't picked up on it, it wouldn't be this much. It just
Hold on. I see something in there. You know what? You can always see people motives and their bias in what they say. Hogben shared photos of the three comedians speaking publicly about LGBT rights, adding, I can't say the same for Kevin Hart. I can't find a history of helping at-risk LGBT youth to be honest, his tweets and his stand-up gig saying he'd do anything not to have a gay son made me bristle. In short, it felt malicious. I appreciate Kevin Hart apology. So let me say this, man. I hope you British white guy, gay dude, because I said when I come on Sunday, I don't even make apologies for shit. I'm just, you know what? You're soft, you're sensitive. I gotta be. Can I be boss hog?
Oh, good.
You better.
Hey, sit your sensitive ass down somewhere, man. Because
Oh, I thought this was gonna go somewhere.
no, I'm just because I read this and I'm like, so so you think because these women took a picture or spoke about the LGBT community, they're good. Well, I would like to ask you, gay British dudes who advocate for the LGBT
Don't get us shut
community.
down. We just got our award.
First of all, we independent, so we can say what the hell we want to say.
Don't get our
But
award.
with that being said, I want to ask you, when is the LGBT community standing up for black men and women? I never see the LGBT community at large in none of these shootings that have happened with people of color. I never see nothing dealing with African Americans. So when your dumb ass make a statement like, well, I've never seen him talking about or dealing with,
Held
do you not
at risk, LGBT.
do you not realize that, guess what? It's harder to be a black man than it is you living your life as a gay man. I hate to tell you that. I know you don't understand it.
It is not.
It is not the
for
same.
Not the same thing.
No.
And so I hate to bust your bubble. And when I share this on YouTube, I'm gonna find him on Twitter.
No pun
And
intended.
I'm gonna tweet the video and I want you to watch it. I hope it get to you because I'm gonna tweet some other folks too. Because see, we too busy worried about our own life. We too busy worried about our family. This is still a black man at the end of the day, and as that old saying goes, more money,
More problems.
more problems. You a white dude who writes books, who probably living a nice life over there with your
With
gay
that
lover.
privilege.
Yeah, you know, whatever it is you do, you're probably okay. But see, you probably haven't walked in Kevin Hart's shoes. You probably ain't never seen where he came from in the streets of Philly to make it to where he's at. So to you, you think it really should be that easy. But it's really not. So with that being said, you know what? We're going to keep this train moving. We're going to play... We're going to go to the next segment of our show, which is called That Thing, Love and Relationships, The Unfiltered Truth. We're going to play a clip from Jada Pickett's
Red Table
Talk, and then we're going to jump into the conversation around the clip.
These titles and these labels of what people are supposed to be.
And how arrogant we are
Yeah.
to believe we know who somebody is supposed to be and what they're supposed to do.
Like, you're my brother, and since you're my brother, you need to behave a certain way so that I can feel good about myself.
Exactly.
You're my mother. You're my daughter. When we look to our relationships to be something to fill us in a certain manner, you know, and that is the thing for the last 7 years that I've been in search of is emotional independence. When you don't need people to be something for you.
There it is. Oh man, that's the real freedom.
That's it right there.
That's the real freedom.
Oh man, that has been the greatest gift
Right.
in my journey, is releasing myself from that and releasing people that love me.
Hey, listen, that was Jada Pinkett, and it sounded like her brother and maybe
Her brother Caleb.
And maybe the son, girl, boy, whatever. You know, they all mixed in between there. You don't know which one is which. I'm just saying. But in any case, he would have to deal with that. And so we were listening to the clip. And so what are we going to be discussing?
All right, so what you heard was a clip from
Okay.
the Red Table Talk hosted by Jada Pinkett Smith, her mother and her daughter. Her brother Caleb joined, and they were talking about forgiveness, and she brought up this term called emotional independence, and it's not something I had really heard of. So originally they were talking about forgiveness and how forgiveness frees you. It is not necessarily for the person that you forgive, but how forgiveness frees you. And it moved into emotional independence and how when we free people from what we think they should be to us, how freeing that is for us. When I free Roz from being who I think she should be as Queen Roz of sports. That allows her to be
That's
her.
how I can elevate.
Right. That allows
Queen
her
Roz.
to be her in whatever she determines.
Preacher.
Right. And then it frees me to love her in whatever definition that
Right.
she chooses it to be in. So that's what they were talking about. They both share a father, different mothers. And they had come to realize that their father, in his addiction, what they, both Jada and her brother, finally realized is that we had expectations of our father that he was never going to meet, when we should have just accepted him for who he was, instead of holding him to these higher expectations. And it got me to thinking about how sometimes we end up not being able to forgive people because we expected them to be something
Right.
that they were just never going to be, or never going to provide for us. And that's where this whole emotional independence came from. So I found an explanation, if you're not aware of it, on exploringyourmind.com, talking about I Can Live Without You, the importance of emotional independence. And so it talks about not being autonomous, meaning we can't be in relation, but freeing people from the expectations of who we think they should be.
Right.
And so it says, we know that love sometimes overwhelms us. We don't see the boundaries that love creates, and we let ourselves be carried away by this flood of emotions, where we let our entire world revolve around another person, sometimes placing ourselves in the background. So when we let people go, or let them be them, then how do we attain emotional independence? Emotional independence is always about maintaining a healthy equilibrium. It is not, it is not about being autonomous. So they offer some tips. Let's see. So focus on the following pillars in order to achieve emotional independence. Stimulate your partner's emotional growth as well as your own. It says, let your partner work toward their dreams while sharing them with you. You offer them their personal space and lend them confidence and support, but also demand the same for yourself.
Right.
Always be able to make your own decisions based on your own values. If your partner infringes upon what you believe and what defines you, imposing their own beliefs, they are directly attacking your emotional independence. So you're making decisions based on your beliefs, not someone else's. Number 3, voice your ideas, your criteria, explain your thoughts. Always act in accordance with your principles, maintaining good self-esteem. Avoid being complacent and don't hide what is hurting you. It says, do not build your whole universe around your partner, thereby renouncing everything that you used to be. Don't be that little satellite orbiting around a great planet. On the contrary, you can be 2 planets harmoniously orbiting in the same universe.
That is, Jada and Will did and I don't know if they were on a show or if they just did a YouTube thing, I don't know if you remember that, to where they discussed that same issue, is that she said when she finally let go of the fact that she was depending on Will.
Yes, for her happiness.
Then that's when their relationship really blossomed.
Right. So, because it was the clip we played where
Right.
it was Will talking about you finding your own happiness. You know, we can.
But we're on this journey together.
Right. We on it together.
No, I
Hold on 1 second, because no, we got it. So what Roz was talking about is there's a clip that we probably all seen of
On the
Will.
Red Table Talks. They were on there too talking.
Yeah, but he first did it before they came out with the table
was
talk.
on YouTube.
On
It was
Instagram.
on, right, he did an Instagram video because we
Yeah.
put it up here and we played it. And essentially what he was saying was that, you know, at the end of the day in relationships, your happiness, because I've said it before, your happiness, I can't make you happy.
Right.
It's impossible for your mate to make you happy. That's something that starts with you.
Right. You can aid in the happiness.
Right, you can aid in it, but it starts with you, and that's basically what he was saying. You know, you need to not go do something to make you happy. You need to just, in a nutshell, get your shit straight. You know what I'm saying? Like I
get
can't
to your happiness.
Yeah, get to your happiness because I can't do it.
Yeah.
And what happens is in a lot of relationships, when you're depending on what I got with him because he made me happy.
Right.
Well, y'all got together for the wrong reason.
I mean, because I look, when people say stuff like that, I always look at, well, what if they die?
Mm-hmm.
What if they die tomorrow? Are you going to be like 2 weeks from now or a year from now? Are you still going to be sad because this person was your whole happiness?
Mm-hmm.
That's the stuff that I look at.
Well, but I think
when I go into even at work, you know, when customers call in, it's like, well, I only want this particular guy. Well, what if he died?
Yeah.
Then what?
Can you be happy with?
Right? Are you not gonna call anybody?
I ain't gonna lie, Roz. In case of dealing with paperwork with my son, I only want to deal with one woman because the rest of them
what if
just
she
don't
dies?
get.
You have to.
I'm gonna have to take her ass to the grave. Can we resuscitate this? Because these other helpers is messing up his paperwork. I gotta pay.
I mean, I understand she's good.
I'm just saying in that case.
And with that whole statement that the good doctor read, I mean that's a powerful statement because once you look at it, we do put so much pressure
yes.
on people to be what we think
exactly.
they are,
right?
Instead of what they and you really do stop worrying about that person. Like with my daughter, it was never our intentions for her to go to the Army. Never. You go to school,
mm-hmm.
you graduate, you go to college, you graduate. If you want to get a second degree, you continue on, and then you come out into this world as a living.
Right.
When she went to school, got her degree, and then said, I want to go to the Army, I was like, wait a minute.
Wait a moment, that's not the plan I had for you.
That
I had for you.
Right, that wasn't the way we had worked this out.
Mm-hmm.
When I finally released that, because I can only tell people about me
Right.
and my feelings, when I finally released that, our relationship changed. It grew.
Mm-hmm.
It started to flourish because I wasn't disappointed, but I was like, I don't know if this is right
Mm-hmm.
for us. You know,
Right.
I put myself in it for us. I don't
Right.
know if this is right for us. Well, it wasn't me. It was that person.
Right.
And once you release that, you can go to sleep easier at night knowing this was her decision, so that means she's going to follow it through.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to worry about
it. Has nothing to
how,
do with me.
right, how it's going to get done. And it's
Right.
just like that in relationships. Once you release that from him making you happy or depending on somebody else to do this, depending on somebody else to do that, you can go to bed with literally a smile on your face and get a good 8 hours
and
worth
not
of
only
sleep in 4.
and not only that is the expectation because what happens is I never when I expect anything and you know I guess well for me I just see people for who they are. My parents and I used to hear them always say, you know, have you ever heard somebody say don't kill their spirit?
Mm-hmm.
In other words, they were saying, you know, let them be them, but at the same time, you know, just say for instance, you know, I would hear it with like just say if one of our kids got into something with everything, and you'd have been super harsh on them, and then you would hear, don't kill their spirit, you know, their kids, you know, don't get on them so much that that they change.
Right.
Let them still do them and make them the same mistakes at the same time, and then if
I
you
have
fast
actually
forward,
started saying, not my house, not my problem. It's not my house, not my problem. That means I can only control what is inside this particular space of mine. And right now, that's just me and the dog.
right,
That's it.
right.
Not my house. Not them. I don't have an opinion about it anymore. If that's what you want to do, then I support you 100%. If you say you want to fly, well, let me go help you get some wings together. Now we're gonna put some padding down here.
Yeah, Roz. Now let's not be so free spirit that you can't help. But I mean
that's what I'm saying. We're gonna put some padding down here if something goes wrong. But I have changed so much because I used to be overbearing with everybody. I was. Now is that what you want to do? I'll be right back. Let me go get some meat pads. If that's what you want to do, Let me go get a helmet. Is that
And
what you
also
wanna
we
do?
can throw in there.
Let me go do this.
We can throw in there accepting people for who they are.
Right.
Um,
Or even with the red table talk, it's forgiving people. Because he died of an overdose.
mhm.
And so they both had to come to a point where they forgave their father for being who he was. He was not the best father to them. And instead of holding him to this expectation that he probably, because not everyone is a good parent. Not everyone who bears children are made to be parents. And what these two children had to say of their parent is, you know what, we're going to forgive you because you were just being all that you could have been. There are some people who are just never going to be A+ parents.
I get that.
It's unfortunate,
my only qualm, like, I get what they were saying later on into the video, because I watched that prior to this being posted in the group, is it seems like society-wise, bad parents, or lack thereof,
Right.
seem to get let off more or easier than children. Like when people, especially old heads, they'll be like, well, that's still your mama, that's still your daddy. But mama sold all the furniture out the house. Mama been turning tricks in the back bedroom. Mama let this man molest me, or this, that, and the third. And then you have people who will say, well, that's still your mama, that's still your daddy. I understand their healing process and the need to forgive,
Right.
but I felt it was really retarded when they were talking about their dad and him choosing not to be there as a parent.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, people just, you can't expect people to be. You laid down with two women and you created these children. You therefore at that time relinquished your right to be selfish in that way and choose whatever drug, whatever happy place you wanted to skip off to, and you had that responsibility. Now, no child comes into this world with a blueprint or a code book or anything like that. But what that man did was very, very selfish. And then later on in time, down the years, he adopted a little girl.
Right.
He adopted
another one.
So
did he change at that point?
He still did it. No,
the only time he got clean, from what I recall from the video, is when she called her brother and she was like, hey, we need to do this. Her brother was against it because he had already failed them numerous times. He said he didn't even beat his own father until he was 12.
Right.
And when he met him, if I'm not mistaken, he was high.
Yes.
So it's like, okay.
But his mother kept him away because he was high.
I understand the need to forgive and the healing process, but I don't like how it's almost like they dismissed or lessened what their father did. Call it what it was.
Right, but I don't think forgiving their father was excusing him. I think they just
accepted it.
They just let it. They just said that's
no,
all.
they accepted it.
That's all he was going to be.
Right,
and you can't.
That's like expecting
change.
Santa to come and he's just not going to show up.
Right.
Not. He's like there are some parents. Just because you have a child, it doesn't make you a parent.
Right.
Because dogs have babies every 21. Rats have babies every 21 days.
Take care of their
and there are some who the birth of a child will cause a shift, and then there are some who it doesn't mean a thing.
Right.
It's not automatic. I don't believe that just because you give birth, all these. No,
And
I think
no,
you grow.
But see,
It grows into it, but I don't
true.
think you
My
excuse.
question was, what was he before? Has he
He's
always
always been an addict.
Okay.
And that's the thing. Their mothers knew
functioning.
he was functioning. He was. There were positives about him that they spoke
They said
of.
the man was very talented.
They said he was genius. Her mother was like he was very creative, but he was an addict.
He didn't live up to his potential.
No.
But
And they just let it go. They just said, "Hey, you were an addict. My father was an addict. That's all he was. He couldn't have done anything more." And they just put
He chose
period.
right
They just
there.
put a period to it and said that's
And
what
let
it
it go.
was.
Yeah,
And let it be.
Now, I mean, as somebody who I didn't grow up with my biological father, and so I can speak on it. I don't feel one way or other. I don't hate my dad. I don't feel one way or other. When I hear stuff like this, I'm always wondering what did the mother them say, because I'm somebody who lived it.
Mm-hmm.
My stepfather is my daddy, not my daddy that made me. my mother will be quick to say, I ain't never heard my mother talk about my father, other than we had to jump on his ass because he said he was going to take you. The good doctor will find out my mama's G for real, like
shout out to the best mother-in-law.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, but my mother never talked. My mother never talked negative, so even hearing like I can't relate.
Right.
So I can't say, I forgive my dad. If I see him, we cool.
Yeah.
Whenever I see him, we good.
So maybe you have. Maybe there's a part
but this
of
is what
you
I'm saying. This
that
is what I'm
has
saying.
like,
I've never had to.
it
No,
for
but
what
here's
it
the
was.
But I've never went through that stage. I've never had to say, because, like I told you, growing up, we were going to my grandparents. I seen them when we were younger, but I was with my uncle a lot.
Right.
Because he was out, doing whatever the hell he was doing. So I was with my grandparents and my uncle. But even growing up, when I did this, it's not like I missed them. That's why I said I'm always wondering, what is the mother saying to the child? What are you saying that you would even, because out of sight, out of mind is real. My dad was out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
So I never had to wonder what my dad was doing, because there were men in the place. You see what I'm saying? There was my grandparents, there was my uncle, there was my dad, there was my grandfather, there was my uncles. So, I really don't get it from getting there, because something had to have went on, again, and maybe because my dad wasn't in and out. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe because he wasn't saying, "Well, hey, I'm gonna come take you this weekend," and I had that expectation and hope or whatever. And
so you never
but more, I would say this, and it might sound strange, but I thank him for that then.
Yeah.
Because I remember.
Why you don't have any?
I remember in my early 20s, I was at church. And I think he showed up to my church out the blue. There was a wedding that was happening in my church. I maybe that Saturday or so, or whatever, and I got to church on Sunday, and it struck me crazy because the pastor's wife was like, "Hey, your dad was here." It was just freak accident. Mm-hmm. And I was like, "Oh, yeah?"
Here this morning?
No, years ago. Years ago. And I was like, wow, okay. And I talked to my sister, and they'd tell me about my dad or whatever. But I'm like, hey, have him to call me. He won't call. Now, it does not make me mad. Honestly, I respect him more because at least he's man enough to be like, you know what, I'm really not good enough to talk to my son. Right. I would rather that type of man to say, you know what,
let me stay over here.
Instead of coming in and
because I don't want him to see
the type
who
of
I am.
Right.
And so maybe that's why, and that might be a cool thing, because and I'm just saying it because we don't know their whole life growing up with their dad, but that might have been the thing that happened in there where there was expectations.
Yes.
Oh, I'm coming to pick y'all up.
And what he was dealing with too, because people just don't some people just don't automatically go and get on drugs. It's something else that they are hiding. Just like a clip in a movie that's coming out. The boy was talking to his therapist, and the therapist asked him, "What are you doing?" And he was like, "Oh, I'm a drug addict and I'm an alcoholic." He was like, "No, what are you covering by doing those two things?" Because normally you're trying to cover something. You experienced a high and you still trying to get it because it makes you forget certain things. Right. So my question would always be to people that, on drugs or whatever, what got you to this point? Right. Because that's another part of the story that we don't get. I don't know if you watched the Netflix series with Jay-Z and what's the late night talk show host?
David Letterman.
Yeah. So I've watched that several times because I love that particular form. But Jay-Z even said about his dad. He said when his mother didn't have the words to communicate to his dad how she was feeling. She only had the angry words. Right. It wasn't anger that she was trying to employ. It was, we need you here also, because his dad had experienced his brother being killed. Yeah. So now every time somebody contacted him and say, "Hey, I just saw the man that killed your brother," he would leave his home to go try to find this man and kill this man. But he didn't understand what he was leaving was his children, was his wife. In his head, he wanted to get back that man that took his brother away from him. So what else are they dealing with? And Jay-Z said in his interview, he said, when I understood that my dad wasn't leaving us, he was leaving to go find to not let his brother's killer. Right. Is what he was doing. So he said, when I understood that, then I can reach inside myself and say, okay, I forgive this man because he was so focused on this that he wasn't here.
Right.
And the words that my mother needed to say, she didn't have them. Her dialogue wasn't there.
Right.
Of what she had, these expectations of him that she had put on him, and now that he wasn't beating him because he was getting out of his bed, leaving his children, leaving his wife to go deal with something else, she conveyed that in anger.
Yeah.
So that's another thing when you're dealing with people is how do you say the stuff that you really want to say?
Well, and that's a great question because again, you know, I always tell people I don't really put expectation on people because when you get to putting expectation on people, people gonna always fail you in that area. I mean, because nobody's perfect, nobody's great, and when you get to start throwing that out there, you're expecting them to meet something that they might not ever do. Just let people live. Now,
And they're your expectations. I just have to shit for myself.
Right. Right, that's what I'm saying.
Why I gotta make this go?
Like I give you a prime example. So two people can meet, and you date, and you've already laid out a rule of expectations for this guy to meet for you in order for you to be with him. Well, what if he didn't come from that background?
Right.
Because how he might have been raised might have been totally different from the way your expectations were built.
Right.
That's why I never do that. I mean, I don't. You're just gonna fall short if you let people live. And now we're not talking about, well, I'm just gonna get up on your skin because I want to get up on your goddamn skin. Now,
Not giving a pass.
Yeah, not nothing like that. But just saying, well, you know what? When I got with you, I got with you for you.
Right.
Everything else should have gelled together because we're moving from, you know, you're talking family, but you're also trying to incorporate relationship as well. Yeah. It's the same thing with the happiness, and you can just say, well, you know what, I'm cool. Right. I'm cool with this person being them, because then you start asking yourself fundamental questions. Is this person out to hurt me? Does this person have my best interest in mind? Right. You know, things that you can write down and put a check to. Not expectations, but what's happening in my life for real. Right. What is going on here? Because we marvel at Jada and Will. Right. Now I don't. But what I do love about them is that they do not mind. But it's almost like I remember my ex-wife telling me a long time ago. She literally said this to me. She said, you know what? I want us to have the type of relationship your mama and your daddy have. And I just simply, first of all, I caught an attitude. And secondly, I had to say to her, I said, sweetie, you don't want to work for it because it looks good because they put in time. What you don't see is what I didn't see, the disagreements. I didn't see the going back. I see what looked nice. So you looking at what looked nice because now, but yeah, they done put in 15, 20. Here we are, you know, 1.5. Yeah, 2 and shit. You know what I'm saying?
We got some more time.
Yeah, we got to put that time in. And so I say that to say it's no different than Will and Jada. They telling you how they made it through. It looks nice because they can say they made it through. They're on the other side of it.
But we weren't there
when they smooth selling at
when,
this point.
Yeah, because it's like, you know what,
I had to. She said she was crying for like
she
40,
woke up crying for I think
49
a long period of time straight.
Days straight.
Well, him too.
We didn't see that.
But see, now I would say this, you know, that's where it comes in a lot of work. Now, because certain things I'm just not going through. Crying and shit, I'll be like, shit, you just need somebody else. Like, we good, but crying, just being honest. I mean, like I said, it's nice looking at it. It's nice looking at it now.
Right.
I just tell people all the time I use Michelle and Barack. It's the same thing. Y'all want the Cinderella story, but y'all don't want to get messy to get it. You see what I'm saying?
People be hollering, build and build.
Hell yeah, they did.
But then they be ready to
Michelle will tell you if you got all these people who are we can talk about it because we've made it through it,
right?
And we want to say, look, we made it through it. We sharing our story. Don't think it's gonna be easy. Stay in it longer. You want to give up already, and we saying, well, hell, if that's the case, I would have gave up when her ass was crying for all that time.
Right.
Or she could have gave up when when he said he went through his little thing.
Yeah.
No, we want to show you that marriage at the end of the day is beautiful. Don't think you go get this match made in heaven as it's gonna be roses every day and everything. Now my thing is this: life is short. If you can avoid the BS, avoid it. Create a home where it's gonna be nice and cool, but whatever, however, it all means by any means. But I've never had this expectation of thinking that my marriage, in a relationship that I was going to be in, was just going to be perfect, because nobody's perfect.
Right.
You'd be a damn fool to think, well, that infatuation is going to last for 20 years. You know what I'm saying?
How many people walk around with those type of unrealistic type of
And that's why we
first
leave
sign of
not. That's
trouble.
why we
They're
leave
unable
divorce
to
rate.
forgive. They're unable to forgive. I can't forgive you because what
Well,
they were
and
saying
I
is,
can't work
I
with this because
expected
you didn't
you-
follow my
right.
protocol of what
You
I said.
didn't
And it's other
follow, so I
people.
can't.
It's other
I can't
people,
forgive
too.
you.
Because I know a lot of people that try to get advice from other people about what they're supposed to do in their house.
Come on.
Great
point.
That bothers me so. And I tell people, I don't know. Because I have never been married. I can't even begin to tell you what I do. I can tell you what I do as a single person, but I cannot tell you what to do as a married person.
Now I would say,
because I am not. I mean, I tell people that I don't know.
Well, it doesn't
now
make
marriage,
you
hold on.
But you can still offer
no, I'm gonna say something.
logical advice.
Right, no, let's be
my
honest with you.
logical is different than
No,
everybody
hold
else.
on, no, but you know what? Let me say something. Marriage is spiritual. If you're not spiritual, you don't need to get married. You might as well just go and get a piece of paper, go get an attorney, y'all sign some type of thing where it's like, okay, we're gonna do this thing. First of all, marriage is spiritual. So you speaking to somebody about relationship, because it's still a relationship.
I'm not one of them either.
But it doesn't matter. You dated somebody, you had children.
That's a relationship.
I'm not.
Because nobody.
I try not to give it.
Think about it. I hear people say it all the time.
Somebody else's home.
I see somebody on social media
You can't come
say,
here with me with y'all phone.
nah, I see somebody on social media
Put that
say,
out there.
who's the expert in relationships?
Right.
Who's the expert? Who can literally? Your pastor's not an expert.
No.
And I say that.
That's pretty good.
No.
Listen,
There's no one an expert
you do not
in
require,
the realm.
You do not require your oncologist to have had cancer for him to help you treat
Well,
cancer.
no, what I'm saying is that you can go to a counselor.
But are they the expert on relationships?
It's just,
No.
but it's the
In
same
my
way.
opinion,
You
just make
can
sure it's
offer
a reliable
advice.
source.
Right, you
So
can
what,
offer
somebody
advice.
that's-
I'm not gonna go to a female that's constantly getting beat up and
Right.
asking her about
Right.
No,
how
don't
she
go
treat
over
me.
there.
No,
No,
like I wouldn't
no.
go to somebody who's
Like,
very
is
bad
she
in
a hoe?
finances.
No, I'm just saying,
I
like,
wouldn't
you
go
can't
to
be
somebody
like,
who's very bad in
you
their
just can't do
finances
that.
for financial advice.
Exactly.
But as long as
I'm
it's a
just saying,
reliable
Rob,
source, because there are people
yes.
out there that feel like
Why
if you're not a
go-
parent, you can't speak
You
on
can
having
go to
children.
a
If you're not
home
married, you
for
can't speak on
No.
marriage.
Exactly.
Right.
I do get your point.
No.
I do get your point.
Because-
Right. I do respect that.
Because you know what not to
What?
do. I mean, I don't know if y'all heard Boss Hawkins said something back here in the background.
I'm just saying, you
Boss Hawkins said something back here in the background. You should go to a hole for advice. On
I was agreeing with, I was just using it as an example.
Unless you're trying to do some
I
more
mean-
things, then she's the expert.
Yes, but
So what? No, because then they can always go back to you can't turn a whore into a housewife, and I honestly believe.
no, and I believe that too. You can.
You
say
can.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can.
You can't turn
I'm
that.
not gonna tell
If
you
that
how.
man,
for
no,
another day.
I'm not gonna tell you
I used
how
to
I
believe
know.
that until I
But-
started seeing like what's going on now. If
can.
all that man requires from her is to look good and do certain things good,
No,
then
because
Yeah,
you
but
don't know why she's
outside of
holding.
that,
Just like you don't know why this man picked
Yeah,
up
'cause
crack
she trying
pipe.
to-
You don't know
get
why
them
this
clothes
man,
and
why this woman was
kids and-
shooting up. You don't know any of
Listen,
that.
the
I'm a
man
firm
just preached
believer.
about the 42 generations came from
That-
a whore.
Thank you. You can't
Hold up,
turn.
man. Don't
Jesus
mess up
came
the,
out
don't
of
mess
a-
up the word.
Jesus came from a whore now. His
He
generation.
didn't say that. He just said that was one that was in that 42
He-
generations,
exactly.
which was who?
Mary was
Exactly.
a virgin
But-
mother.
Exactly.
Yeah, hold on, we gotta correct that, sweetie.
Come on now.
So
In the
what-
42
No, but the point is-
generations,
What
it was
about
a whore in
Jezebel?
there. That's right.
What
But that
about
wasn't a part of the
Jezebel?
message.
These
We
people
mentioned four
have,
women.
listen, but they have credit now.
But what about Jezebel?
Yes, you learn from them, because what did I tell you today? Now watch this, right? Who did the pastor mention today that I told you the HOJ come from? The story.
Rahab.
The story of Rahab.
She was a whore.
But what made her
woman of
What's
the
the but?
world?
She was a woman of the world.
What?
What's the but?
There is no but.
No, he was saying
No,
but.
I was saying because there is a but. Even though she
What
was
is it?
that, she's great for what she's done.
Jesus came out of that.
So despite of
So
her
you
worldly
can
ways,
turn a whore into a
but she didn't
housewife.
know it was. You,
So
you
it's
know
about
the
her
damn,
heart.
you know
It's
that
about
damn
the
story.
person's heart.
It
It's
is
about the heart, y'all.
Pretty
It's
woman.
the heart.
Julia Roberts was on them.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you
for
finna mess up the
years.
story and ain't no telling which
Julia
one of your
Roberts-
sisters
But no,
been
you
watching
know
this
what?
shit.
Oh,
Some of the
God.
most people
For
that
years.
society like try to jade or
That's
whatever,
right.
usually they are some of the most good-hearted people, and the people
That's
that
right.
portray themselves as upstanding
That's
and stuff,
right.
they can be some
Right,
of the
so
most
with that
That's
being
right.
said, because we all over, the point is that
I had to just let you know.
No,
You
I
can't
mean-
turn a whore into a housewife.
we still talking.
I'm dead set on that.
Rahab sit
Ross,
down.
I
with-
believe in
She
redemption.
let down. She let down
Me
what?
too.
A sheep.
Boaz is known as the kindred redeemer.
Thank you.
You could be
A
redeemed, Ross.
scarlet cord.
You
Not
could be
me.
redeemed.
People that's listening.
You could be
But the people
redeemed.
that I know.
That's right. That's right, Ross.
Oh, you gotta tell a story, nigga. Don't bring up that story. You know better.
Queen Ross.
You know better.
That's
But no, the
right,
point
Ross.
is
Be
that
redeemed.
my thing is again, we talking about relationship and advice though. There's not one person that's really an expert. But what you want to do is go to somebody that at the end of the day, if you're going to talk to somebody
That has set that
Oh,
example.
that has not only that, but
That has
has your
set
best
that
interest in
example.
mind.
That's right.
Because there
That's
are
right.
people.
Now, do I believe?
Yes.
Now, I will say this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't believe in the good doctor. Don't tell our shit outside of the house. Now, whatever. Now, don't do that because everybody that really want to know what's going on really don't care about what's going on. They just
Right.
want to know what's gonna go on and tell
So they can't go
somebody
back and
else.
say something else.
That's it. If I'm gonna go to somebody, I'm talking to somebody like my mom. My mom ain't finna go tell my business. That's my mama. Brother. He ain't going nowhere. I'm just saying if I was to do it, I'm not finna go outside because we might be cool, but then, like I said, I might make you mad one day. Then now your ass is gonna go tell my business. You see what I'm saying? That type of thing. Like I said, nobody's an expert, but it's cool to hear people like Jada, Will, even Denzel, LL, all these people who put in times in their relationship, come out and say, man, everything wasn't everything.
We have a comment from Mayor Cedric Davis. Congratulations to you, sir.
Congratulations.
In this generation, it's very hard to hold down a marriage. Many marriages lack true understanding of sacrifices and communication. Too many people are in the ears of the woman or man. Family and friends are in a marriage. Old school marriages and vows are dead in this age of non-committal friendship and relationships.
Nice.
I have to agree with that. I mean,
You know what? And that's why you won Community Hero.
Mm-hmm.
You are absolutely right. But there's still hope.
no, it is hope. It's just, am I still dead again?
I think the thing is, no, you connected.
Okay.
Can you hear?
Nothing.
Somebody keep. Well, what we're gonna do is, we reached the part of our show. It is KB's Throwback Song of the Day. Another oldie but goodie. I pulled out some Gerald and Eddie Levert.
Turn the lights off.
Yeah, I don't know what the song is though. Ain't it, baby? I'm ready. Baby, hold on.
Okay. To me.
Yeah, I was riding my truck or something, was just jamming and so we're gonna play KB's Throwback Song of the Day, man, and we're gonna come back and we're gonna turn it over to the Queen, Roz, and we're gonna jump into some sports and fix this mic.
I know, right?
Hold on, let's see what's going on.
I don't think she said she couldn't hear me.
You connected? Hold
Can you hear me? She can hear me at first.
Yeah, I plugged it.
on. You plugged. Which one did you?
Is there a short? This one.
Everything is plugged up.
I got signal on you now. I think it's a short in the mic.
Okay, so I'll be
You might want to
still.
switch mics then. How
Well,
many
I'll
mics
be
we got?
still. I just-
Nah, that ain't gonna work.
It's only 4.
Yeah.
Can
Let me
you,
see
can you
if I.
switch out?
Cause
So
I
it's
think
normally
I'm
5 minutes
back.
anyway.
Number 5.
Yeah, it's normally 5, so we gonna have to switch that out.
For those of you watching live, that's Boss Hall back that you're looking at on the screen.
Oh man, hey, I'm sorry. You know we. Oh wow, that looks a fool. I'm sorry about that. But we're trying to get these mics right, man. Roz's mic is going in and out. But shout out to everybody who's chimed in. What's up?
Keep so oh she said keep because it's not coming up.
What's not coming up? The song? Oh, okay. Wait a minute, damn, was the song really that short? Hey, listen, we are back. I don't know what the hell went on with that, but that was supposed to be Baby Hold On to Me, Gerald and Ernie Levert. I thought that was about 3 minutes long. That was a
somebody was getting too close, so
that was more or less like 1 minute. But in any case, y'all know that song, man. Y'all done probably danced to it, laid to it.
I know that.
Got that old.
I am not Jezebel, nor am I Red.
Listen,
To it.
Kinsman's Redeemer.
But in any case, man, listen. We're at our the next half of the show. You know, we got the.
You can just say Roz of Sports.
The Queen of
I'll
Sports.
wear a t-shirt next week that says Queen. And that way they'll know it. And you don't have to keep
Hell
repeating
yeah!
it.
Thank you very much.
Don't worry
The Queen
about
of Sports right here. We're gonna turn it over to her, man. What we gonna talk
Don't
about?
worry about it. Hey y'all, glad to be back. We're talking about Rickey Williams in NFL, CBS Sports. The title is Rickey Williams announces Freedom Football League run by former players including Tarrel Owens. Now just that title alone, I'm excited. Because I love me some Tarrel Owens. And let me read the story. It looks like yet another league is tossing its head into the ring to compete with the NFL. As the XFL and AAF announces uniforms in city locations, former NFL running back Rickey Williams announced on Thursday that the Freedom Football League will be joining the ranks. Williams, Tarrel Owens, Simeon Rice are among the names associated with the league. According to Williams, there are about 100 stakeholders with 50 former players among them. It's a new spring football league, Williams said on ESPN on Thursday, and it's for the fans and it's by the players. It all started with a bunch of guys sitting around a table talking about the good old days and realizing, you know what? We have a lot of experience. We've been there before. We know how to do it. What if we started a league and really made it about developing young men? Nice. Other names emerging as early owners are Jeff Garcia and former Super Bowl MVP Dexter Jackson. According to ESPN, games will be held in the spring and summer, avoiding colliding with the behemoth, the NFL. And there will initially be 10 teams. The league's mission statement is to attract football players at its highest level of athletic ability, including those defecting the NFL, graduating college or high school, or playing international alternative football leagues. The league's ultimate goal appears to be to allow people to play football who are out of the NFL or even looking into get back into the NFL. The league is to be funded both privately and publicly. So when Williams says it's partly owned by the players, partly owned by the fans, and partly owned by the operators, he means it. Williams even delved a bit into the political side of the league. We're trying to develop young men, he said, on Outside of the Lines. You can't take away their voice or expect them to develop. When I grew up watching football, I really wanted to be like Jim Brown, not because of what he did on the field, but because he could take the platform and have a voice. And so when I got to the NFL expecting that to be the case, anytime a big social issue came up, we were told, be quiet, it's a distraction. And so really we're changing the conversation. I just stop right there and only have a paragraph to go. Mm-hmm. So I say kudos. I mean, it's not like, it's not competing with the NFL. It's pretty much either getting the guys ready for the NFL who's coming out of high school, coming out of college, that's not physically fit, showing them how to play, what to do, their mannerism, giving them some coaching, some real life experiences by those that have been in it. It's also teaching them the fundamental basis of it. Because you take a kid that's coming out of high school and then you put them in this arena, most of them don't last. So, kudos to the ones that do, because it's fame and fortune comes quick. And if you don't know how to handle it, it can be detrimental to you, to your family. And most of the time, you're the livelihood for your family. I mean, 1 out of 10,000 even make it into the NFL from that pool of kids. And for you to be the one, that's a lot of responsibility. So I say kudos to them, because once again, they're not competing with the NFL yet, because that's a lot of money at stake. That's a lot of backing that would have to be in stake, a lot of sponsorship that I don't think they will be able to get right now. And then also you're giving them a platform to express how they feel about these social events that we're dealing with right now. As he mentioned in the article with the NFL, once you get there, he saw Jim Brown say this stuff, and once he got there, he was ready to use his platform, and he was told, no. You hold it. You be quiet. That's not for you, so to speak. And we've seen this plenty of times, to where, and I'll take Rickey Williams. I don't know if y'all ever followed this man, but I did. He graduated from Texas. He went on to the NFL, and it's kind of hilarious now. Rickey couldn't stop smoking.
He actually suffered from social anxiety.
He gave up a $10 million contract with Miami and moved to Jamaica. Because he could not release that.
Right.
Which goes back to, as we, to tie in with the other stories that we did, what are these guys suffering from? And a lot of people that goes from high school or even college into this arena, they may have past demons that they are bringing over. This is kind of a like an internship, if you will. You don't think so?
No,
What do you think it is? Or what do you?
Well, first of all, I'm glad he's doing it. What's happening is people have figured out that the NFL is not the only big truck on the yard.
But they're the ones that's paying the big money.
It doesn't matter because
now
because watch this, because just because they're making millions don't mean that these cats can't make a million. You got Jim McMahon over W Wrestling who can afford to create a whole damn football league.
Right.
And the only reason why it failed the first time because they didn't have the nuts and screws to make it last that long. But if you already know, a lot of them players went on to play in the league.
Right.
So it ain't like they can't find talent. I think what they're doing is just saying, well, you know what? If y'all don't like the NFL's way of doing things, guess what?
Come on,
we got millions. We got money that we can put together, and we can give you guys an alternative. Don't nobody really want to compete with the league. I walk down the aisle every day at HEB with all different types of wines. I think I've said this before. You think the red wine company down the street care about what the other red wine companies making and creating? No, they gonna put their same shit on the same shelf right there, because you know what? Either you go buy them, you go buy me, or you go buy Yellowtail, or you go buy Barefoot, or you go buy. And so I think it's the same thing. It just opens the door to saying, you know what? Y'all can watch regular football because we don't want to take away from that, but then come watch us
in the spring.
Come watch us in the spring. So we're going to give you football 24 year around.
Yeah. So just to be, I guess it's a two-part question.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say, so the NFL cuts out in
February,
and then you have the Pro Bowl or whatever. So those players can go over here and or this be two totally different.
No, he said we're getting
separate.
He's getting guys who don't make it to the league. Because you can be in high school and ball.
Don't make it.
Because remember, you can't go from high school to NFL now. So what he's doing is he's saying, well, hey, because them guys are not finna risk hurting themselves to leave. Just playing the whole 3 months to go over there because you're gonna mess up contract.
But then my second thing of it is that, so what if they do start to grow? And
What
they
they
do start to grow. and they do become competition for the NFL.
That's been needed for a long time.
Yeah.
I don't think them good old boys is gonna let that happen.
How can they stop it? Listen.
Isn't the NFL ran by sponsorship? What is
It doesn't.
sponsors?
Hold on. That's just like saying Nike. Listen to me. Hold on.
They leave the NFL.
No, they ain't got to. Listen, they don't have to.
It's more
Nike,
than
Nike
one.
can make. Excuse me. Nike can sponsor their uniform. Man, look at University of Michigan football uniform. You gonna see that big ass Michael Jordan on that jersey.
No,
you go to
but
North
I
Carolina,
just
see that
think
same Jordan
I just
on
think
that
that
jersey.
if they get to be too big, because right now I'm sure they're sitting back and they're chewing their bacca and they're spinning their cups and they're saying they'll never make it. I think if they do start to get too big, and it starts to where people don't want to come to the NFL, that they want to come over here, even though it's just a spring league, they still making that money. You know, they're at this time, you know, they will be making the money. They have less time to play, less injuries, more conditioning time. I think that the NFL will have an issue with that.
I think so.
But they can't do nothing about it.
Majority of the owners are white, and majority of your players are
Only-
90% are
Yeah.
black.
I think it's going to come up with something.
No,
No,
it's
I
not.
believe so. I believe
Yeah.
No, it's not, because
But
guess
it's just
what?
whether they're going to be successful.
No, it's not.
or
That's just like the NFL trying to shut down the Canadian league. Because when guys don't,
But it's not messing with them.
no, but it does, because when guys don't make it to the NFL, they still go
But
down.
listen, if they don't make it to the NFL, we're talking about people. Your number one draft pick is sitting out there. He's sitting at the table. We're waiting on him to decide which way he's going.
And now he's saying, "Oh, I'm going to
Now
go to
he's
this
saying,
league."
I'm going to go to the FFL. You don't think them boys are going to stand up and
But
say,
hold on, but I don't see that happening yet, because
well, okay,
the
not
NFL
yet.
is still the big
It's
prize.
still the mainstream.
Yeah.
It's still like,
the last
I'm not
night
gonna
on
go-
the ticket.
I'm not
And
gonna
I
go
hope
over
they
here.
put this together, hit the ground running, and give them a run for their money.
I
Yeah.
hope they do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but does it open up the door to say, you know what?
Yeah.
Because the lifespan of a regular NFL player ain't nothing but 3 seasons, 3 years. Man, that ain't nothing but in real time, that's a year and a half. 3 football seasons is nothing but a year. That's the expectancy of playing in the league. If you put in 10, you know, what's that, 10 seasons, 12,
Don't they
you're
try to age
lucky.
them, like kind of like age them out, like once they after 30? Like
Hell
they
no,
start
you
to.
play as long as you good, because Brady is
Yeah, I
40.
was just going to say, you got some 40-year-olds.
Breeze is 40. I mean, if
I'm
you
talking
can
about outside
ball,
of QBs though.
yeah, but I mean,
Like
if
other
you can
positions,
ball,
they start to
maybe a
like,
running back, you still have some in their early 30s, but you got to
Yeah.
remember, these guys that's coming out of college, they're in their 20s. So you graduating 2021. The hope is that your body lasts and give you at least a good 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
mhm.
And that way you
In
can
the
make
league,
your money.
you can make your money. You better
You
be
can
able
start
to flip it, do
investing,
something, buy some businesses, and go on and leave out and keep it moving.
Right.
Now, what happens is a lot of these players just don't do that. They get that money, and the first thing they want to do is do nigga shit.
a house.
Buy this
Buy
house, buy
a
these cars,
house,
buy
they
this and this
girlfriend
and
a
that.
house.
Go buy the little old clothes, and then you wondering when your
They
third
on
season.
30 on 30.
Yeah, you on your fourth season, and then you got to go, because that's just how the
30 on
league
30.
kick your
That
ass
is
out.
true.
Because of injuries or whatever, contracts again. NFL is not guaranteed, so we let you go. You had your opportunity in that short window. So I just think it gives guys who don't make it to the league an
It gives them
opportunity
an
to
option.
shine.
So you don't have to go overseas. You don't have to.
Yeah,
go
you ain't got to go up
Canadian,
to
blah, blah, blah.
Canada. Come on and play right here. You gonna be dealing with ex-NFL players.
Right, so we
See,
know how
this
it
is so
goes.
right. This is totally different. The NFL is white boy ran, white boy coached, black boy playing.
Who may have never played the
Ain't-
sport.
So this
Some of these
league
kids
is
never played.
Rickey Williams is saying, "You got me. Remember, I smoked. I can holler at you. You got Tarrel, the
We got people
showboater.
that's-
We got
that's
kids that
dealing
can
with
really tell
I'm
you."
telling you,
Yeah.
if Dion go over there, I'm a full-fledged supporter.
I'm gonna watch it anyway because I just like watching
I'm
football.
gonna watch it. Well, you know, I'm out with the NFL right now, but
Right.
I don't hate you. But I'm gonna watch it only because I like the sport and I miss it. I would never lie about that. I miss
Yep.
it.
I'm
But-
in the same boat.
I want it to be a success. I want these guys to learn. I wanted to offer that diversity that the NFL doesn't offer.
Yeah.
And I want them to be in contingent with the NFL
Yeah.
at some point.
Like Bree said, I want to see them give the NFL a good
Right,
run for their money.
because it's time.
Mhm.
You know, everything else is split. We have
Mhm.
17 different electricity companies now. We got 15 different cable companies we can choose
So
from.
why can't we have
Our
more than one
satellite,
football league?
exactly. Why can't we
Right.
have more than one?
And that's how I'm looking at it. Like, hey, y'all not the only
But they
team in
have
town.
been. That's
Yeah.
the point. They
For
have
years and
been.
years.
So when you've always been, when you look at something coming towards you that's trying to take your position or start up, you're thinking, hey, you know, if I go start a coffee cups and put it next to Starbucks, it's gonna be a minute.
Well,
Because everybody is used to
Right.
Starbucks. Well, now I'm contention with Starbucks because I have my favorite one is McDonald's and McDonald's. Let me put that out there.
right.
So we're not McDonald's, but we're McDonald's. We have the McDonald's.
You remember
Remember
from
Coming to America?
Coming to America?
Oh, okay.
We have the all beef patty special sauce,
And they had to also
lettuce, cheese,
yeah.
but the bun was different.
Yes.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. I mean,
It's McDonald's and
but what I'm saying is
McDonald's.
these guys gonna still get sponsors.
Right.
Because see, the league can't tell Bose not to sponsor this.
And Nike
league.
already done showed they with the anyway.
That's
Nike
right.
gonna sponsor whoever the hell go where they
That's
follow.
right.
How much I
That's
love,
Nike just want to be seen.
love yet hate
Yeah.
Nike because they did. They stepped out there and they supported Cap and they supported all this other stuff. Their commercials was the bomb. And then of course you know they got the stores for it. Well, you know that money that they're spending went to the Republican Party.
Yeah, they
because
spend
Nike
more
said
money.
I got it. Are you gonna stop me? But what was the saying?
Who
The
gonna
girl
check
you-
me, boo?
Who gonna check me, boo?
Yeah.
That's
That's
what
it. Yeah,
Nike
yeah. We
did,
we
which
put
is
more
why
money.
I
And see, that's how I feel about the
Yeah.
league potentially trying to come and dismantle them. Like, cause I mean, as long as they don't associate themselves with any type of money stream that goes towards them, then I feel like they shouldn't be successful in that. But I would love to see them.
But
stay back
it
in this
is
big
though. I mean,
Listen, they're gonna be attracting the same money stream. They don't care. It's not in conflict with each other. When y'all were playing, we would not even be playing. We're playing in
But
the
hasn't
spring
it
and
been
in
a
the
running
summer.
thing for the last couple of years that the NFL has been losing money? That's why they've been putting up such
Yeah.
a fuss with
they
some stuff.
have been.
They've been
Yeah.
losing money because I mean it's just
different.
garbage.
Right.
I mean, they like you know, a lot of these dudes not playing
All
like
this
Jerry Rice. They're not.
patriotism and stuff.
Well, and then it's that, and then
fake
also,
outrage.
and I do believe, and I hope this day come, and I'm still alive to see it. If there is a choice when that boy is sitting at the table, or that young man, sorry, no disrespect, when that young man is sitting at the table and he has a choice of the NFL or the FFL, and he chooses the FFL,
I love it.
that's the part that I want to see.
FFL signing day.
Oh,
Oh my
my
goodness.
I mean, this is what I'm
But it's gonna happen.
dreaming. This is what I'm
Yeah.
dreaming
Yeah.
for them.
When they start,
Yes.
because again, their
I
mission
would so
statement
love to see that.
tells what they who they're going after. Oh, okay, guess what? You went undrafted. Hey,
Hey, come on,
Coming over here.
we want you.
Yeah.
Oh, they telling you to stay in the other year, a year in college. Hey, if you want to come out now, you can. But if you graduated and you don't get into the league, we want you. That's why I say I really don't see a conflict.
Right
Right now, but even money wise, you can't, man, listen, they go get that money, because if Nike want to throw their money at them, what the NFL gonna do? Say, don't, that's Nike.
I mean,
What the hell is Nike gonna
get
do?
money,
They
Adidas
need
get
to
money,
make a
Puma
commercial
get
that
money,
says,
so
"Who gonna check me, boo?" I would love to.
They didn't already did it. I'm
Well,
just
they didn't say
saying.
it, but I want them
Like
to say
any
it
company,
that way.
that's like Visa. Visa can pull their sponsorship if you get mad. We paying you, but guess what? If you don't like it, we can still get back on TV through. We still got other avenues. That's why I said I don't see it being an issue or them being worried, other than it takes away football choices, players. Because again, they say, well, hey, if you don't make it to the league,
Come on over here.
come on. Now that's where I see the issue happening. I ain't worried about the money. I see the issue of now we have to select players. Damn, they over there playing. We can't pull them.
I feel like this is the quintessential for us by us moment for
Oh,
football.
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah,
I'm here
Wow.
for it. I'm so here for it.
That's nice.
I told you I wouldn't be
Nice.
surprised if I see Kaepernick play.
He better.
Oh, wow.
And not in this league, but in Jim McMahon's. Because
I wanna
he
be-
could have been called by Washington.
XFL.
Yeah, the XFL. I can see him returning in some form.
Mm-hmm.
I
He
mean, him
should.
getting back on the field. Oh yeah, most
He
definitely.
should go to the FFA.
And I think he is. I think
And
he's just
start
waiting
it
to
off.
say, well,
and
you know
be
what?
a stakeholder.
Yeah.
What?
What? He could bring.
More than
you know
likely.
how many
It's
people
like
he
what,
could bring
50
with him?
Exactly.
They go how many? 50 seconds?
He said it's
50.
100.
It's 100.
It was
Oh,
100.
And then
Wow.
with
Between
100
players,
something.
Players.
And stakeholders like
I can't
50
open up my
players
keys.
and
Tripping.
There are about 100 stakeholders with 50 former players among
Yeah.
Okay, I
them.
had a
So
switch.
half of the
Okay.
stakeholders are former players.
That's
They need
great.
to get.
So it's a
Kaepernick to-
league
That
That's
invested
and
their
and
money.
you know,
Yes.
right? But you know what's happening?
Yeah.
It's people who are learning from the league and how what they didn't
And what
like
they
to
did
say. You know
right.
what?
We're
Like,
gonna
We're gonna
what I
control
love
our
about
own
it.
football
Yeah,
league.
that's
Like
what I
We
Tarrel
love
kept
about it.
saying what did the
gonna let our
brother
boys
from who was
speak.
on the show from the Nation of Islam? What did he say? We need to start our own,
Yeah.
and that's what he's
Yeah.
saying. Hey,
And
we're gonna start our own league.
Mhm.
We don't need y'all. We already have the blueprint because we played in the league. We
Right.
already seen how it functions because
Right.
we have
See
black
how
men
y'all-
and women.
I mean, look at Kaepernick.
In the box.
See how y'all do us.
I'm just loving the fact
So
that
we already got it
we-
together, and so let us do it ourselves. We don't.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't need y'all.
I'm loving the fact
We might
that
not be able to pay them
are
millions.
steadily-
But guess what?
Building the brand.
We only not only that, but we can get to millions
Yes.
Yeah.
because
Good.
if we start taking that talent that's going to the league,
Yeah.
girl, who they gonna come see? I tell people all the time, and before we go to our next segment, one thing I hate about. Because, you know, here in Texas, high school football is big.
I mean,
Shout out to Duncanville for knocking off the #1 team in the nation. Allen
that
just
last night.
right up the street. They literally they are the #1 team in the
Somebody
nation.
posted, they said Allen gonna cry in the car. I just
What?
bust out
That 50,
laughing. Oh
all
my
that
God.
59 million that y'all done put on that
in that
stadium,
stadium.
and y'all won't be bringing home a state
For
championship.
high
this year.
school football.
But
stadium.
I
You
say
don't
that to
even
say
want
that
This is what you do in Texas.
Girl.
But you
Yeah.
closing down whole schools. You know, okay. never
yeah,
mind.
that's something totally. But my thing is that as popular as football is and everything related to going to college, and we're talking, they go to all these universities, and who's dying are our black colleges.
Mm-hmm.
What these parents don't realize is that, see, you had strong coaches like Coach out of Gremlin, the late Eddie, what was his name, Eddie James,
Mm-hmm.
because they would come to your home. We got your son, we'll take care of him.
And did that just that.
You damn right. But what happened was it made those NFL coaches go to them black universities to watch them play.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the numbers of all the people who play in the NFL, and now it lasts longer, you know what schools they come out of? Historical black colleges.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened is now is we have people who will sit up and say, well, Alabama look big, so we want my son to go to Alabama. Texas look huge, so we want my son to go to. But you'll overlook a Grambling, you'll overlook a North Carolina A&T.
Yeah, and a lot of things are cloud based.
But again, we because you so busy looking at the stars. The last time I checked, Jerry Rice came out of Mississippi State University.
Mm-hmm.
He's sitting in the Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? Your Super Bowl winning quarterback.
But that's that's what these kids see, and I say children because their mind have yet to develop. Leaving high school, going into college, when they choose, he's a friend of mine. His son is talented, and if I say his name, everybody has heard of him. So I'm not gonna put his business out there. But they went to go. He's been drafted by a couple of. Well, he's been looked at by a couple of Division I schools, but they haven't put that money out there for him yet. So he went and looked at a Division II school, a Christian school. And the coach showed him around, showed him everything. When they sat down, he'd offer him a $200,000 scholarship, 4 years paid for right now.
Wow.
Plus a monthly allowance. You know, they can set it up or whatever.
Yeah, they can do that. That's legal.
He put on Instagram, the young boy put on Instagram, yeah, they want me, but I don't want them.
Wow.
Instagram.
That's a huge insult.
Instagram.
What?
He didn't
They
want
want
a
me.
4-year full ride,
Because it wasn't a Division One.
but he didn't want a
School.
4-year full
What he wasn't
ride.
looking at is that he can make this Division Two school.
Wow.
Have them come look at him.
No, you can have an education for free.
Right. And that's
But have
what,
everybody come to
Yeah,
you.
if you're that hot,
Because
if
the
you're
thing,
as hot
is-
as you think you are,
Yes.
Right.
you don't need a one
Man,
school because
listen.
wherever you go, you're going to
and
shine.
the coach had already said, he said, and we're not gonna line him with these little fruit subjects that they give him to pass, home ec,
Yes,
you know, stuff
you're
like
going to
that.
get an
Say
education
that.
You're gonna get an
I'm gonna tell you something.
education
for free.
and tutors
Wow.
to help him within the struggles that he
And
has.
good tutors are hard to come by.
And not only that, we're small enough to where I can be attentive to this young man.
Right.
But he on Instagram and put that out.
but I blame parents for
Yeah,
that.
because your father
Because
should
what
have
happened
said,
is-
he
give me your phone.
Because what happened is
I'm going to be in charge of your social media.
we have what happened is that those black coaches can come to these schools. I mean, come to not only to the schools and to the parents because the parents wanted to know when they left home, they still had a daddy when they got to that school, and that's how the black.
Community is.
But that's how the black colleges kept them players here.
Yep.
They didn't have to go to
In
Notre
line.
Dame. They didn't have to go all the way out there to
Right. far from
USC.
home.
They didn't have to
Yeah.
go out here. You couldn't get them players because them coaches already knew. Oh, we got that boy because his mama.
Yeah, his mom has
talked to
already
him.
said, you
Yeah,
playing for coach such and such.
Yeah, you go already play, but see, we don't
They
have
go to
those parents,
church.
and I just say that because we here in Texas, and football is big, and yet we're not funneling our players to these black colleges so we can make those NFL teams
Because they're not looking at that.
Right, come here.
They're looking at the big prize. They're looking at the shine and the
Say,
sparkle.
I'm kicking myself in the ass.
They
I watched
don't know that their kids gonna go out there and be lost in
That's
this
right.
system.
Not only that,
And
I mean,
it's
you
not
got
have a
five
great
other you got
education.
5 other dudes that's just like you.
That's right.
Yeah.
Man, that
And
boy,
they
that
don't
boy,
have the child's
that
best
boy in
interest at the
Alabama.
core.
That's
Listen,
right.
that boy in Alabama who won the national championship the first year. You had a coach that removed you last year in the national championship for a freshman. You ain't started since. And you said, well, I'm going to stay at Alabama. But what if you already would have went to a black college?
That definitely would have happened.
You could already ball. You go to the league anyway. You see what I'm saying? You worried about all that, and then you got to sit and hope
That
somebody in the league wants you because you're not playing now. Because you're behind a sophomore. You see what position you just put yourself in? You ain't even playing now because somebody you wasn't good enough, and they said, well, you know what, we're gonna pull a card on you. But you would have been good enough to play in a historical black college. And if you were who you are and you continue to play, they gonna see you in the league. But like I said, that's just how we roll. It irks me to see that happen. And like I said, I kicked myself in the butt for. I remember this college, and shout out to University of Mary Hardin Baylor in Belton, Texas. This is a private school. They just won the Division II National Championship, and I'm mentioning them because I remember when they first established, they tried to start their first football game. They came to Navarro College. We had a spring game, and they seen me play, and it was my dad and my grandfather there. And the coach came up to me. He said, "Hey man, we seen you play. You know how they talk. We started a program. It was an all-girls school, and now we're integrating it to have men to play. We want to start a football team." I looked at him like he was crazy. Fast forward to 2018, they are a national championship. They are a national championship team.
You could have been a part of that.
Yeah.
Starting the football. Now, my brother went on to play for the school. He went to play for him. He ended up going there. But I could have been one of the first to break into that history.
I know, right?
I pass that school every Monday and Thursday in Belton, Texas. And to see them go from a coach saying, hey, we just integrated our school. We're starting a football program. Now, probably when I played, we probably wouldn't go do shit because they just started a football team. They literally piecing a football team together. I'm here in Navarro right now. Let me go over here to this school right here. Let me try to go to this high school. Might not have been much.
But it would have been, it's
but just been a part of the
now.
history.
Right, yeah.
And I'm like, but mind you, this is a Division II. You know how many boys that'll probably go get looked at just because they are part of a national championship team?
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to Mary Hart and Baylor University in Belton, Texas. They are the Crusaders. With that being said, man, we've made it to the last segment of our show, which is the infamous shade tree.
Woohoo! I done did research.
That's good. I'm glad y'all got all this shit together because we're going to talk about it. So last week we talked about how Pastor Bishop, Episcopal.
Why you gotta call him Pastor?
Mega preacher, John Gray did something very wonderful in allowing the members of his church to take from the collection plate, whatever they needed financially. And here we are, a week later, South Carolina, mega church pastor wife defends pricey anniversary gift, a $200,000 Lamborghini. Mega church pastor from Greenville, South Carolina, is catching heat for buying his wife a $200,000 Lamborghini as an anniversary present last week. John Gray, a Relentless Church. But what's this? Relentless Church is the same pastor who drew praise from around the world for giving tithes directly from the collection plate to veterans, single parents, and widows. A video posted on Instagram, which has since been deleted, showed Gray's dressed in black tie leading his wife through a crowd and surprising her with the car. But what caught everybody's attention was the response from the wife. So she says, she pointed to his income outside of the mega church, including producing movies and writing songs. Her husband, she writes, gives away cars, full houses of furniture, coats off his back. I don't see anyone screaming about how basketball players drive what they do, while you paying, to see them play in arenas and on fields. She wrote on Instagram. Gray was praised just 2 weeks ago for videos that went viral of him giving money to needy members of his congregation. Let me stop right there, because I brought this up because my thing was that kind of stuck out for me was the wife's response. And it was really kind of hoodish to me.
They said, come as you are.
Yeah, you right. You right. She came as she was. It wasn't the first lady though. But that's what kind of stuck out for me because I was like, well,
first of all, people don't pay to come see pastors.
I just said, well, it just didn't seem from the heart.
Spirit led.
Yeah, it didn't seem.
Well, she's upset.
Yes.
So her spirit because everybody is saying, why did you get a $200,000?
No. Let's rephrase that. Why did your husband give you this $200,000 car?
Being that I want to be a pastor's wife one day.
Oh, praise the Lord.
You've never heard me say that?
No, ma'am.
Oh yeah, she has said that.
Yeah, I have said that. Yeah.
Oh,
but you know what? I'm not gonna get. Hold on. I'm not gonna get that shit a pass because the deal is if you are the godly woman that you are supposed to be, then you're just as much in the word as he is, and y'all should be lined up in a Christian mind state. I'm sorry, I don't care what you do if you are profiting from the word. At the end of the day, if you're not giving out more than you putting in your pocket, it doesn't matter to me.
But how do we know that? Because we can't put a price tag on. The only thing we can put a price tag is this car. And like she said, he done gave
what
away
songs he wrote? Who? Name a song he done wrote. She says
just
she
because we don't know,
it don't matter. We got Google. Okay. I'm asking. She says because we taking her word.
All right.
She says, defending the gift from her husband. My hubby is a hard worker. He worked his whole life and he saved to bless his wife. And that's cool. I get that. But again, where it gets a little shaky for me, she pointed to his income outside of the mega church, including producing movies and writing songs. What movies and music what movies you producing?
He did do a movie in conjunction with Oprah. He did.
Okay, that's great. Again,
maybe he got, but this is my thing. Why
writing
are we?
songs.
How dare we tell a husband he can't buy his wife again?
Listen, we're not saying that,
That's
but you
what
know
we're
as well as
saying.
you know as well as I know that what happened is that when people see it, that's what, because again, we gotta hold. See, we can't pick and choose how we hold pastors.
Now listen, this is the same man not only 3 weeks ago who was in the news and people were, bringing him up because he said,
sounds like
no, but listen. When he said he had to give it to his wife who birthed him, maybe this is her push gift.
Maybe, but again, but
because you remember, not only like 3-4 weeks ago, he was on Sister Circle saying how he had to commend his wife because she helped birth him, and how a woman is supposed to birth a man, and people were they were all on him, but it's just like, people back in the Bible. Judas and Jesus was standing up there. They said, Barabbas and Judas. They said, give us Barabbas and crucify Jesus. 1 week you like him. Another week you're praising him for, helping people in his congregation.
What did we say on the show? Hello.
Okay. Come on, how you gonna be happy?
But hold on. But what did we say last Sunday?
This was a gift. This wasn't a gift.
So here we go. These
Okay.
are all this is all the stuff that he's done.
Okay, now.
All the stuff that his name is attached to.
Yes.
So he has money outside of his church.
That's right.
Executive credits, actor credits.
He may have had good
director
credit to buy,
credits.
but again,
These are
this
his
is a
credits.
husband.
Hold on, Roz.
But
Stop.
this is
Wait.
a husband buying a gift for a wife.
Hold on. Let's see. The family. 2016, Graham. 2014, White Irish Drinker. 2010. This is 2004, 2002, 2001.
Residual.
Are you talking
Residual.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait.
Don't
Residual
count.
different than music and TV.
Don't count nobody coins.
$200,000.
Ain't nobody count. My point is,
$200,000 is a
hold on.
lot of money.
What my whole thing is in this conversation, like we said last week, what's going to happen is
Yes.
people going to turn around and say,
Yes.
well, okay, since you did this good thing, what did I say? Now the eyes of the
You
world
did say that.
is going to be on you, because are you going to continue to do it, or are you going to do
But
something
it's just
totally
like
different?
his wife said. He has given away houses, full
Yeah,
furniture.
nobody talked about
Nobody said that.
Mhm.
He has given away cars. Nobody said that. Nobody said anything until he said,
That's
you know
right.
what? Baby, you have been with me
That's
when we
right.
didn't have anything.
And I found
So I got a
an article
question.
for that.
You
So let me throw this out there. Did you not set yourself up for this criticism?
No.
Because yes, you did.
No.
Yes, you did.
No.
Why do we have to know you bought your wife a $200,000?
I want to be proud that I bought
Yeah.
my
No.
Okay.
Again, as a wife, you cannot be pissed off because
I'm
you
trying
could have kept it to
I'm
yourself.
trying to see the difference though, because I've seen stories of like these pastors that are like real flashy and act like rock stars and stuff.
Yes.
I'm trying to see the difference between when they are riding around in Rolls Royces
Yes.
and stuff, and this man buying his wife a
What's the difference?
What you call it?
A
Why it seem
Lamborghini.
like they get shunned, but why it seem like because this is a gift for his wife, he gets a pass.
See, that's what she's
I'm
saying.
not
No,
getting
you don't. You don't. Listen, what
I'm
I'm
not
saying
getting
is, again, I'll give you another one. Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry paid for all that stuff. And in vanity, his dumb ass jumped on media where I didn't want it to get out. Nobody wouldn't have never known if you wouldn't have jumped on the media to tell nobody. When you know how I was, I didn't want. No, what you really wanted to do was get that pat on your back. Nobody wouldn't have known. You can set yourself up for your own criticism. Nobody told you to do an elaborate thing about it. You could have slid your wife there and she showed up on Sunday in a Lamborghini.
And then they would have still been talking.
No,
doesn't
not
matter
really.
when she slid
Nah,
up in
wouldn't
that
have.
parking lot. Yes, they would.
No, they
somebody
wouldn't.
would have been.
No, they wouldn't.
Yes, that's how
Somebody would have. Somebody
somebody's
would
wife
have.
in that car.
We all got nosy folks in church, but
You
the
don't
point
even
is, is that you set up here, you showed the world, and what people gonna do is time
And
and
if
time
you ain't
again.
shamefacing him, if this was truly a labor of love, why you delete it? Why is it now gone?
my thing again. Who are you? Who are you in the world? I'm gonna measure you by the I'm gonna measure you by the word. The word never changes. I'm gonna measure you by the word. What does the word say? I tell you, I talk about my pastor all the time. You see, he was fresh today, right? He was fresh, custom. But him, I don't mind telling him, hey, you need to, because people are watching. At the end of the day, you're measured by
a custom suit.
It ain't nothing. Listen, I'm just what I mean by that is there's nothing wrong with it, but there's a difference when you are in a position, and that's fine. You take your money, and I was using my pastor because my pastor was one of those who was flashing all that. Hold on, that ain't what the word is, because there's a difference between that and vanity. See, don't think that a lot of these preachers are not vain. That's why you got a million churches. That's why you got a million, and they never agree.
And that's why mega church is now a word. It's a thing.
That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that when you are in the position you are in, it is no different than we hold our president to the highest standards. We have Barack Obama that he needed to carry himself a certain way. It is no different than a preacher who says, this is what I preach, this is what I profess. Because at the end of the day, if this story was never told, you wouldn't be making the money you making. So you have to thank the very thing that you're prospering off of.
Okay, so do y'all have pastor and wife anniversary?
Oh, yeah.
So if your pastor on their anniversary decided to give his wife a car
from his pocket, hey, great.
It's from his pocket.
Again, that's fine. What I'm talking about is
the
fact that
it was their anniversary.
Yeah.
So he just didn't wake up and say, you know what, today is the day I'm going to get booed.
Right.
But I told you, what did I say? I don't have an issue with it.
On an occasion.
I said my problem was, I said I just looked at her phrasing in her response.
A $200,000 car. And you're mad at this thing.
Put it out there like that too.
Yeah.
My only two things is, one, again, if you're doing something like that,
tell me who
that's
what
great.
walked
That's
in
fine.
here having went and bought a bad dress and some bad shoes and said, I'm gonna kill him in this tonight.
That's right.
Wasn't even planning on wanting to wear until they got their dress because
right.
they
Then
wanted
you
everybody
have to go.
see it. You have
Good
to
doctor.
go and
You know I am about social media. I ask all the time because she loves to take pictures and everything. Hey, hold up, you ain't gotta post everything. That's just me.
But that's
you ain't gotta post everything.
That's you. No. And that's not me. What do you see me? Because you asked me about live, and I was like, let me pray on it. Because that's just not what I do.
All I'm saying
but
is,
for him,
no, listen, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with the gift. I told you my thing was her response. You can set yourself up for your own criticism.
Well, let me tell you that.
And the timing. Because we talking about the accolades back, they go back, the credits go back that far, but now when you have your mega church.
Yeah.
When I become pastor's wife and he pulls that
and
car
he pulled, yes, that's right.
Mine is not a Lamborghini. Because that's not what I want, boo. If you're listening.
No, bras, when you have a driver that opens up the door and you step out,
when I
don't want nobody
to
say nothing to you.
Because my nails going to come first.
Please.
When I grab the handle.
No. You don't even touch the handle. You just put the 2 feet out.
You and whoever pastor you married go straight to hell. Y'all gonna be together for all of
that. I'm coming to your church every Sunday.
Somebody run up to me and say, why he buy you that car? If I tip that neck to the side, y'all better start feeling. Because you got to get a word for the day.
From the first lady. Queen Rod.
Queen
Rod. Genesis 1:1. You finna get a word today. How they say, can I get a word?
Listen, I'm not knocking. Again, I'm not knocking it. All I'm saying is the response is what got me. You can't jump on the defensive when at the end of the day you are his wife, baby. Where's enough common sense say, hey, look, let's be a little modest. Thank you, but we don't have to make it an elaborate thing because, folks, it should be my wife, the good doctor, job to protect me from shit.
No, and she probably just...
At the end of the day, hey.
It was probably just one of those
responses because I ain't gonna say my homegirl's name. That's like my homegirl and her dude. Now, he hitting licks. He bringing home money, right?
Hey, y'all got a TV?
Hold up. He come home with money. So now, the chick should be smart enough to say, well, how much you got? Okay, you sitting on 7, 8. She should have enough sense to say, you know what? Let's put back 4. We can spend this. But if your ass is, and neither one of y'all got sense, what in the hell good are you?
Right.
Somebody should have enough sense to say, baby, this is a 200-some-thousand Lamborghini.
And
we need to keep this. Let's not be so flamboyant about it because one, I understand you are a preacher. You're going to be looked at a little bit different than you doing it. My thing is that somebody should have had enough sense to be like, oh, what in the hell am I married to you for, baby? You ain't helping me.
On the whole.
I just don't think.
I'm not knocking her that he got it. If you got it to do it and it wasn't from the church, I'm good. If it ain't came from the church.
No, he did. He came out and said that I'm a husband first, but if you think this money came from the church, it did not.
My thing is, as long as it don't come from the church, you didn't pull from the church to give your wife that, I'm cool with it. All I'm saying is somebody should have had enough goddamn common sense. You still know you're a pastor. You are looked at and viewed differently than everybody else. And your walk is different than everybody else because if you really believe that Bible to say what it's supposed to mean, you got to measure and hold yourself accountable to that word. So am I walking it? That's the real big issue.
And my thing is, okay, don't get it twisted because I'm pretty sure somebody out there probably like, oh, they just jealous because they know jealousy don't reside here when that type of thing.
Say, listen, I got a nice little red Toyota that
I look at people like people who are quick. People who are
answers.
quick to like post when they do good deeds and be like, "Oh, look at me!" Like the thing that he did before is, I myself feel like, what is your motive behind why you putting this out here? Like when people do good deeds, why are you going out your way to put that out there? Like okay, people who always feel the need to say, "I'm real, I'm this and that." I look at them suspect. Why you gotta keep saying it? Because if I'm in your presence and I'm around you, I should be able to know. Just like him as a pastor. If he's truly helping to cultivate his flock spiritually and in the other ways, because the Bible speaks of that as well, because really he's supposed to be making sure all those people are good before he starts to live in all his lavishness, from my understanding of the word. Am I correct? Okay, so it's like, why do you feel the need to go out your way to telecast this or put this out? Oh look, I let people take out the tithing plate, or I did
now he
this,
had no.
or
Now to that defense, they had no control over that. You had a big church.
No, I'm talking about the ones that, like, when they do, I'm just saying, I
well,
was
he the only one.
So hold on.
Well, he's the only one right now. Because there ain't nobody else that did shit like that.
Okay.
So he didn't have no control over that story.
In this, it says, my wife has pushed for my dreams and my vision. And she has toiled with a man who is still trying to find himself. That carries a weight. I wanted to honor her for how she covers me.
Okay.
That should have been enough.
Okay.
That, to me, that should have been enough.
Okay.
I'm not here to judge you about how you gave your wife the car. If you gave it to her on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Thursday, Wednesday, if you put a bow on it, if you opened up the garage doors and it was there, you did it, and you did it with your own money for pushing her. Now, people can say, well, why didn't you give the good doctor a new bracelet? What you trying to say? Me and we can't afford Pandora bracelet? I mean, is that what's out there? Why she got to wear it to the show? Why she can't wear it when y'all go out together?
You know what? That argument just don't sound the damn. That is not the same.
But you can criticize anybody.
No, it's not. Because you know what? No, it ain't.
Yes, it is.
I'm gonna tell you why it's not. Get out of that position and nobody wouldn't care. Go to being a writer, because if your money, that loan money comes from movies, producing and writing, residual that he's supposed to be making to drop 200,000, because I guarantee you at the end of the day, that money that he put on that car
but listen,
came from a salary from that church too.
No, he's not taking a salary from the church.
I don't care what they say, they take some money.
Listen, the car is valued at $200,000. It's a 2019. The car is valued. We don't know how much he paid.
Okay.
This is the Kelly Blue Book value. So we still don't even know. We don't
it could be more than that. It could be more than that.
$180,000.
We don't
know. We don't even know exactly. We don't know what's going on.
But guess what? Guess what? The reason why we're able to talk about it is because he decided to film it and put it on.
It was on his show.
Everybody, and that is not on.
But if he didn't do it,
Somebody else.
But it wasn't, listen, but then in that case, you wouldn't hold him accountable for somebody recording you doing it. No, you wouldn't.
Because
we would have
been judging. We would have been judging.
Well, I would have. Listen, what I'm saying. Here's the deal.
Why somebody else had to?
No, we know, Roz. We know we always got those people out there, but it's more. Hold on, Roz. We know that there's always somebody to criticize somebody, right? But what I'm saying is that there's a difference when you can control it. In other words, when you decided to put this out there, you set yourself up for the criticism. That's all I'm saying. Now, it's the difference if y'all having an intimate moment and somebody sitting up here at y'all little anniversary dinner records you handing your wife that and it goes viral. You can't control that. Now, what somebody complain about, you can't control it because it ain't like it came from you.
John, next week go get her a yellow.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna always, if a mega church pastor, if he buys a mansion, mini mansion, a helipad, helicopter, anything of that nature, I'm gonna always side out and wonder if it came from his own laboring outside the church or is he dipping in the church. I'm always think that.
He gets his money from speaking fees because he's probably up there with TD Jakes. I don't care what he say. He doesn't collect the salary. He gets something funneled to him through that church. That's $1 million church. Yeah, it's the same thing. I don't care what you call it.
Yes.
He collects enough money from the church that go to his pocket. It is not like he preached there for free. It does not happen. There's nobody at a mega church preaching for free. Nope. So he's going to get money. I don't care how you shape it. Love offering, salary, if you're walking up handing the money, it does not matter. He collects from the church. You can shape it how you want to. He's putting on his taxes. He collects something from the church, and he collects a lot. At the end of the day, again, I applaud this brother. I can't wait till I get to where I'm at. I would love to give the good doctor a Lamborghini.
I don't want a Lamborghini.
But guess what? One, I'm not gonna be a politician.
You better not be.
Yes, you are.
Oh shit.
Because I'm gonna be all over.
Be quiet. One, I'm not gonna be a preacher.
Thank you.
I'm not gonna be a preacher.
I'm a negative comment until my fingers fall off.
Right.
Why you give her that car?
I do
Why
that.
you give it to her tonight?
That's right.
It's raining
You're not gonna be
outside.
called queen anymore.
Why
Man, you know what? We done went so far.
Roz's future husband and our church, we're going to be sister churches.
Yeah.
We're going to feed the homeless.
I might
and
even be a husband at church.
What?
Speaking
of Roz, boy, look here.
Man, we finna get.
Kinsman
We finna
Redeemer
cut
Roz.
this damn show out. We normally have a little old clip that we try to play at the end of every show, but we ain't going to get to it.
No.
We just want to tell you guys, man, go into the
Thank
week.
you.
Being thankful for everything that you have.
Yeah.
Best believe somebody out there has it worse than you, but you are still here. And with that being said, man, I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the award-winning radio show. I want to thank you, ladies, for being here today.
Give yourself a round of applause.
The good doctor in the building. The first lady of sports, Roz, because we ain't going to speak to her right now. And Bria Moore. And again, I'm your boy, Boss Hog, man. Thank you for tuning in. Like us on Facebook, Instagram, subscribe on YouTube. We're getting our little YouTube subscribers up. Yeah. And the show will be re-aired tomorrow from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. On the A side. And we'll just talk to y'all next Sunday. And I'll let y'all know who I guess gonna be then. Just watch out on Facebook. We out of here.
Coach had a sale.
Ooh, yeah, let's come on, because I know that.
I know what it was. I just know it's cute.